But it's very odd watching you here in person, not wanting to look down at this, knowing how much you watch it.
And
we don't want to look at it.
I don't want to. Who wants to look at that?
It's different when you did it, and you're trying to relive it, and it's like, man, what the f was I thinking back 25 years ago? What was I thinking, Kenneth?
This is Kenneth Stowe Jr. For 25 years, Kenneth has been holding on to a shocking secret, but soon it'll be revealed and turn his life upside down. In February 1996, 31-year-old Terence is found dead in the bathroom of a Florida convenience store. He has been stabbed 73 times, and the store has been robbed of cash. Investigators believe the killer was injured during the attack, leaving his own blood behind at the scene. In spite of that, no suspect can be identified, and the case goes cold for decades. In 2019, detectives reopened the case and used genetic genealogy to analyze DNA from the blood recovered from the crime scene. That testing leads investigators to Kenneth Stowe Jr., a former employee of the store who lived nearby at the time of the killing. Stowe is brought in for a police interrogation. Detectives want to know what happened inside the store the night of the murder, and whether Kenneth was responsible for Terence's death.
So, I want to get a little bit more into... So, before you were a foreman, just let's go through work history. Where did you work before?
I was a truck driver before. Right before Romac, I was a manager at Perkins in Mount Clever. I did that for about 4.5 years.
The one kind of by like Froggers and stuff?
Yeah, right beside, in front of Walmart.
Okay.
So I was manager there, assistant manager for about 4 years there. Before that, I worked at a bakery in Orlando. That's where I grew up. And
oh, you're not from Lake County?
No, sir.
Where'd you grow up?
I've been here 8 years, Orange County.
Okay.
And then before that, I was a supervisor at Walmart, and before that, I was a truck driver for 22 years.
Oh, no. Like over the night?
Yes.
Where'd you?
Everywhere.
Out of Florida?
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
Really?
I did Frito-Lay. I did Papa John's.
And did you when you were a truck driver? And I'm just asking because I'm curious because it's been in the news. Frito-Lay, did you go to individual stores or did you go to the plants?
I go to the plants. And, normally the plants, but then we had it outside of Houston. We had a dip load that we'd pick up. We'd stay in a hotel, get the dip load, and come back. And then in the state of Florida, we'd have, I forget what they call them, but just little oddball places like Brooksville had one. It wasn't a plant, it was just where the small Frito-Lay trucks get their stock at.
Okay, kind of like a satellite plant. Okay. And then you spoke of a divorce.
Yeah.
Were you married once, or you're not married to Emily?
No.
But you were married.
Yeah.
Who was your ex-wife?
Wanda.
Okay. How long you guys been divorced?
16 years.
Okay. You talked to her?
No.
And you have kids?
Yep.
Two kids?
Yeah,
Three
I
kids?
have a son and a daughter.
Oh shit, okay. You talk to them?
My daughter was still shaky because they all blame me for the divorce.
Oh yeah,
it's always bad.
Yeah. They didn't complain when the money came in though.
No.
Yeah.
They got the money.
All right, so here's where we're at today, man. Obviously, a lot of stuff, oftentimes when the police talk to people, some things can be a huge misunderstanding. And we just have to kind of take you step by step. And if it's not what I think it is, then we'll get you back to work. So you've been in Lake County how long?
Roughly about 8.5 years.
Okay.
8.5.
Where did you live in Orlando?
I grew up over by Riverside. I don't know if you know where Riverside is, but off 434 Magnolia Homes Road.
Oh, like by RDV, where RDV is now.
I went to Lockhart Junior High. I went to Poplar High School.
Okay. And you got sisters, brothers?
My sister is I haven't heard from her for a long time. She left with some guy 20-some years ago, and haven't heard her since.
You got brothers?
Yeah, I got one living in Cocoa and the other one living in South Carolina.
Okay. So what I want to do is I want to take you back a handful of years. I guess living in Lockhart. You ever remember living off Cinder Lane?
Yes, sir.
How long did you live there?
We were in the transition of getting a house in Deltona, so about 3 years.
And when you say we, are you talking about with your
my ex and my kids? Yeah.
So they all lived with you there?
Yeah, there.
On Cinder Lane. Yeah. And that's right off of kind of like Lockhart area. You said
Lockhart.
Okay. When you back Shit, 96. Do you know where you're working around that time? You said you were in between jobs. You were truck driving for Frito-Lay.
I want to say roughly, it was worldwide dedicated. I think it was Papa John's.
What's that? Worldwide dedicated was Papa John's?
Yeah, when we first, now they're doing in-house truck drivers.
Okay.
They do it in-house, but before it was worldwide dedicated. I worked for them before I became a driver with Papa John's.
Okay. And then, so you would deliver pizza. I'm guessing it's like the pre-made pizza.
Yeah.
No,
to the Papa John's stores.
To the individual stores.
Yeah, individual stores.
You know how you have like Hunt Brothers Pizza?
Yep.
Where they go to like the
make
convenience
store,
stores?
yeah,
You ever do that? Was that kind of like what Worldwide was?
No, Worldwide it was part of UPS.
Mm-hmm.
So they had multiple delivery jobs to do.
Yeah.
But they had dispatcher and they had their own people for just Papa John's.
I see. Okay. And so back then, when you were working for them, where would you go to get your morning coffee? Where would you go to get? I don't know. Do you drink beer?
Yeah.
Where would you go to get your beer at the end of a shift?
When I lived where?
On Cinder Lane. Is there any place in particular?
Circle K.
Okay.
Back then it was Little Champ and 7-Eleven. All three of them about the same distance from my place.
Where's the Circle K at?
It's off of 441.
441.
Yeah, I know that.
You're talking about
441 and where?
Clear
Clear Concord. Yep.
And then there's the 7-Eleven's on OBT just south, kind of where Cinder Lane Parkway is.
Where the Cablevision company
Yeah,
was.
there was a Pizza Hut back there back in the day. And then Little Champ's right down the street.
Yeah, that's on Terracona, and that used to be Albertsons over there.
Okay, and does this kind of look like the Little Champ back then in the day?
Yeah.
Kind of the same one? It's like long road?
I worked there.
You worked there?
Yeah, I worked at that one.
The one over in Wekiva.
What years were that?
I can tell you, I always worked them as part-time jobs.
Like you were a clerk?
Yeah, because I worked at Cumberland Farms, I worked at different 7-Elevens. Usually I just always did them at night jobs.
Okay.
My mom was a manager at the Little Champ.
At this Little Champ?
No, I don't think that one. The one where Rose Avenue on the corner, and now it's McDonald's beside it.
Yeah.
It's not Little Champ.
It's like Orlando Paintball now.
Yeah,
Paintball place
it's right down the street. Yeah.
So you worked at this Little Champ?
Yep, I worked at 3 different ones.
Were you like morning clerk, mid-shift, swing
Different
shift?
ones. Sometimes I just work on Saturdays. Sometimes I work because I always did it as a part-time job. I never did it just as.
Crazy question, and I just want you to be honest with me. Did you ever use a different name back then?
Yes.
Did you ever go by a different name for tax purposes, like you didn't want them to know about this?
Never. I never did nothing with that.
No fraud stuff?
No, sir.
Okay, interesting. And you don't remember the names of the people that worked there back then, do you?
I know the one manager, because my mom was assistant manager on the Rose Avenue one.
Okay.
His name, and he was real heavy set. I'd be surprised if he's still alive, but his name was Bill. That's all I know. Back then.
Any other names from back then that remember?
No.
And you went by the name Kenneth?
Kenneth. Yeah, Kenneth.
From back in the day. You
Kenneth
never
South.
use another name for
No.
tax purposes or anything?
No.
And so, working at this store, the one I just showed you,
Mm-hmm.
you remember a guy named Bill there that was heavy set?
No, that was on Click-On.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the one I'm talking about, it was my mom's manager, so he would orchestrate me going, okay, you want to work this shift? They need some help over here. They need some help over here.
Who was the manager at this store? Do you remember?
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you.
Anything stick out?
Just because I always go there and there'd be another associate there, and they'd say, okay, we close this at a time, and we do this at this time. So I never.
Do you, I guess, and going back, do you ever remember anything that stuck out? Like, there was a black male that worked there, or a female, or a Spanish guy. Does any, like, of the demographics of the people that work there stick out in your head?
No, I know I worked with a woman at that store and the Wekiva store, different women, and there was I can't.
Okay.
So the time frame, I'm sorry, Ryan, the time frame was you were married to Wanda when you were working at that store?
Yeah.
And she knew you were working there, obviously.
Yeah.
It was a part-time job?
Yeah.
What was your day job during the
Driving. I drove a lot of times. I mean, back before I started going over the road a little bit, I'd do like Hugh Supply. And then when I got off of there, I worked at Grantham at night, loading trucks, or I'd have a job, do convenience stores.
So that was, so what year did you get divorced?
I want to say,
So it was 16 years ago.
at least 16.
So 05-ish?
Yeah. Something
How
like
long were you married?
that. 22 years. We got married
Wow.
right out of high school.
Wow, okay.
What happened with the divorce? Why'd you guys get divorced? No, I'm just being nosy now.
So,
No, it just, she said I worked too much.
well,
I mean, you're never home. I got to do everything with
was
you
there,
by
were you having
myself.
financial issues or something? Is that why you had to take an extra
Up and
time?
down sometimes. No, it wasn't really an issue. It was just when she got pregnant with my daughter, I was like, and we were staying on Cinder Lane. I was like, we had just got a house over in, I want to say it was Lake County, but it was outside of Paca. But we had just gotten a house, and it wasn't the house that we wanted, and it was too far for us to work. Our cars weren't going. She and we had worked different shifts. So
What did she do?
she was working at ORMC.
She's a,
No, she was. She went for. The last time I talked to her, she was doing like checks for babies and stuff. Their hearing and
oh, so
eyesight.
so you were working, driving a truck in the daytime and working at the stores at night.
Sometimes.
Basically.
Yeah.
And that was in the 90s, I guess?
Yeah.
Can you put a better time on that?
Did you,
No, I
did you
didn't
ever,
think about it.
did you ever have to declare bankruptcy or anything like that? 'Cause
Oh yeah, me and my ex did a long time ago.
What happened was that?
Basically, when we were living on Rock Springs Road, we had a trailer,
Mhm.
and the darn thing was falling apart. And we was like, "Can we get a loan from the bank?" And it has no value. I'm like, "Well, we still owe you for it."
Right.
And I just had my daughter. I was like, it was only 2 bedrooms, so in the bathroom. So we filed bankruptcy and just
So it was right after the
Yes,
birth of your
yes.
daughter then.
almost about.
So what year was your daughter born?
In 92, 91.
So right after she was born, so you declared bankruptcy probably in 94, 93, whatever.
Somewhere around there, yeah, probably.
Is that when you were working at the convenience store?
Yeah, different times though. Because I worked at Universal Studios as a undercover security and then uniform security, and then I'd go right across the street after my shift because that's when she was pregnant with my daughter, and I'd get off that shift and just go straight because we only had one car at the time. So I'd get rides or I'd ride my bike from Apopka to Universal Studios.
What? That's a long.
Yeah, we only had one car, and I said, "You got to keep the car." I said, "But I was in good shape."
I guess if you ride your backpack, we're probably in great shape. Yeah, that's not. So you're this is all early '90s, and you're transitioned from the Cinder Lane. There's all apartment complexes down there. So you were living in an apartment complex. And you lived on Cinder Lane, and you moved to Apopka, and then you moved back to Cinder Lane.
I lived on Cinder Lane, and once we got back on our feet, I was working at Clark Food Service, which is right there off Dr. Phillips in Walker.
Yeah.
It was Clark Food Service at the time, and U.S. Food bought us out. But anyway, they started making good money because it was literally, 3 blocks away from the house. So with one car, we were cool. I just back and forth. And then once we got on our feet, that's when we went. I don't remember how we went. We went back. We got the house in Lake County, and it wasn't the house we wanted. And the guy because my wife, she was Puerto Rican, but I guess she felt like he was prejudiced, so she didn't like him coming to the house. And he was like a redneckish older guy, so she didn't like that. And I wasn't there all the time when he come over, because like I said, we sort of worked different shifts with the kids and everything.
So you work your job at Universal. Where'd you go to? And then you went to Clark after Universal.
Yeah. I felt
Right up straight away.
when I left security, I went back to driving trucks. I was grandfathered in back when they started the Class 8 studio, and I worked from Hughes Supply, Universal Studios. Then I started driving truck.
And then that's when so you never worked part time at the stores at Universal Studios.
Yeah, right across the street there was a Circle K.
And you worked in that?
Oh, yeah.
You worked there?
Yeah, I got off it, and that was before I done the venture and everything. So it's like I got off of there, went right across the street from 10 o'clock until 6.
Wasn't there like a Papa John's in that same thing? In the same shuttle bus or no? Okay.
So you're working on the Universal Studios, working at Circle K, riding your bike back and forth to Apopka, and eventually you moved back to Rosemont from Apopka?
Yeah, and then from there that's when we got the house in Volusia County, Deltona. We bought our house in Saxon.
So you
Saxon,
lived and you went Rosemont, Apopka, Rosemont, Deltona.
Yeah.
Okay. So you lived at Rosemont, the same apartment complex?
No, I want to say, because my mom lived right across the street in another apartment. I think it was the same apartment complex. I think it was the same complex, but we had it upstairs. But see, my mom moved from there to across the street, different name. Because one was Glenn, and
what's your mom still around?
now she passed about 6 years ago.
I just lost my dad last month, so tough.
So this is still dealing with fraud?
Yeah, I want to take it back. I want to show you a picture of somebody that you might have come in contact with through where you said you worked at the Little Champ. Has this person did you ever work with this guy? His name is, his government name is Terry, or Terence, but he goes by Terry.
He looks familiar.
I mean, there's so many people that go through those jobs, right? And kind of like I explained to you earlier, like this whole thing could be a huge misunderstanding. But the times you worked at this Circle K, do you ever remember getting hurt?
At Circle K?
Yeah, or Little Champ. You ever?
Just cuts and stuff like that with, box cutters, nothing major.
I'm going to be honest with you. Terry was murdered.
I remember somebody back in the day, said somebody got hurt there.
Okay.
But, and I remember a robbery, it was on the news and
Was
everything
it?
else. Yeah.
Because right around the area you kind of live.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you remember hearing about it?
Just what they said on the news. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, just exactly what they said on the news about. It was a robbery, and I see the crime tape and everything.
Oh, you did? So kind of like this is right here?
My mom
This is
said
another
my mom worked at the Publix right back here, but not behind that. Yeah, just right behind the Publix.
So
it was actually in front of my apartment's the Publix. She retired at Publix.
We're from Orange County. We're not other kind of guys. We're Orange County guys. Do you have family that works for Orange County?
Do I have family members?
There's some styles that work for Orange County.
I remember back in the day, there said somebody in the sheriff's office that worked for Orange County.
But you don't have any.
I don't know.
Your parents never mentioned anything like that. Oh. So what was your job at the store at the Little Champ? Did you
cashier, stocking, stuff
did you
like
have
that.
to deposit money into the safe at the end of your shift?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. Sometimes with them we used to have to. And I thought it was scary because we had to leave there with money and deposit in the debt ATM.
When you would cut yourself at the store, did you have to report that to your boss? Like, hey, I just injured myself. That's pretty bad.
Nothing else that was major.
So you never reported any?
No.
Any significant, like...
I got an injury here with Worldwide Dedicated when I was moving.
Well, let me show you some other pictures. So this is the inside of the store, right? Is that kind of what you remember?
Sort of, yeah.
I mean, it's going. I mean, I was going to say, and then back in the day, what we need to clear up. This is what could be the misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Is unfortunately Terry, I'm going to call him Terry. His real name is Terence. Was brutally murdered. And when I say brutally murdered, like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's crazy, right? And so nowadays, I mean, everything with crime is on TV. You can't turn the TV off.
I watch crime TV.
You watch. I mean, I do the same thing. I find myself at home falling asleep to Forensic Files sometimes because But when I say this guy was,
I knew somebody. Wow.
So when you look at this, and our problem, Kenneth, is and
Wow.
I don't want you to think I'm making anything up, so I actually brought some pictures to kind of help me understand what's going on. Like you see here behind the lotto machine right here. The bad guy, or whoever did this, locked the door behind them, and when they locked it, see back then you had to have the key. And
Yeah, the only time I ever got hurt there,
Yeah.
not majorly, the only time I ever cut my hand was working at Worldwide Dedicated.
But here's the problem, because I know this is the first time you see me, but I've kind of been up in your for the past couple months.
Okay.
So the other, about a month ago, we got your DNA from, you like Budweiser.
Yeah.
You drink Bud, don't
Yes,
you?
sir.
And you like to go to the Sicko.
Yes, sir.
And so we got your beer. And so this is what we need to explain, because now we have a homicide where Terry stabbed 73 times, and it's not like, so something happened with Terry and you. I don't know if you got into a...
I've never heard anybody.
Look at this. Listen to this. You ever watch the Jerry Springer shows and they do the paternity test? And
Yeah, I understand.
And they say-
I watch DNA shows and everything,
Yeah.
but for somebody to say I'm responsible for something like that, no.
so we know Brian started investigating this case 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, started a review of the case, and the DNA, the blood was sent in. It had been sent in years ago and was sent in a system called CODIS. CODIS, it goes into CODIS. That
I've never been
you've never been arrested for an offense that would, like, if you're arrested for burglary, your DNA is collected and put in a code. But there's so much blood on the scene that we were able to take that blood and send it in for genetic genealogy. And it went through the people
Couldn't he work in there?
And let me tell you about Terry. We got to go back. We can't be talking about 2021 right now, because would you agree times are different in 2021 than they were in 96? However you want to look at it. Terry was gay.
I'm just trying to.
I'm just trying to give you kind of a background. Terry was the store manager at Little Champ, and he was gay, openly gay.
Okay.
Not a big deal today,
Right.
right? It's not uncommon to work with or associate with somebody that's gay. 96, a little bit different. Would you agree that times were different? It wasn't as widely accepted as it is today.
I used to have gay friends before, huh?
Even in 96?
Yeah. Well, not that early, but
Okay.
I mean, when I worked for Papa John, the guy I drove with was.
And you guys got along just fine? Did you have any problems or ill will towards him because he was gay in 96?
No.
And if you did, that's okay.
Boyfriend, my
Okay.
manager, Scott. We used to go to the Hard Rock Cafe and drink, and he was actually in a married relationship.
Okay.
So yeah.
So my question, I guess I got to get kind of personal now, because now you look at this from me, where you see Terry is gay and somebody stabbed him 73 times. Not only stabbed him 73 times,
Wow.
but slit his throat. So you watch these crime shows. What would you think if somebody had the?
I understand.
So it's personal. Would you agree?
I had somebody that was angry.
Have you ever been attracted, or have you ever been with a guy?
No, sir. No.
So that's my next question. Is this possible that Terry made you feel uncomfortable, came on to you one morning?
No. I would call going there. I go out there a lot. Just like
Did he ever?
No. No.
Did you know Terry?
I would be mad at somebody to do something like that. That's freaking wacko right there.
Did you know Terry?
I can't say, like, I don't know, person. I was like, hey, how you doing? I played my lottery there. I got my
But did you know Terry? Now that I say the name.
I didn't know him.
And so looking at the
Just
picture-
in the store. I never worked with him.
I don't want to put words in your
Okay.
mouth. So when I showed you that picture of him, I said, you know him. You said he looks familiar. Now thinking back, did you know the person there as Terry?
I can't recall. I really can't.
Okay, so when I say you know him, I don't want you to think that I'm insinuating that you knew this guy.
His picture that don't look familiar, but
Okay.
yeah.
So how can we explain?
Because I worked there.
And here's the other thing: there's money missing from this safe here. So does this safe look familiar? You see the safe here?
They basically they all the same. I couldn't tell you that not that long ago.
Do you know that if somebody was opening in their opening routine in the morning, that there would probably be money in there from the overnight clerk that had put money in the
I
safe?
know there used to be cameras in there.
Okay, all right. And so that's where I'm getting at. I'm not.
Oh yeah.
We
There
got
used to be cameras. in there.
Yeah, so I'm trying to go little by little. So this is not really a question if you were there, because now you know that there's cameras and stuff. It's not a question of where you were there, because we have all this evidence. It's a matter of what happened and trying to
I
explain
didn't do
this.
nothing. I didn't do that.
And so what I don't want, because oftentimes you're a dad, right? You say you still contact your daughter. It's just going back to dealing with kids. If your daughter came home from school and something happened at school, and she told you what happened, she might get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But if she lied to you,
She get in more trouble.
she get in more trouble. Because in our society, there's always, what someone does can be explained.
Yeah.
It can be explained. Hard times, bankruptcy, whatever, everything can be explained. But what nothing can be explained is when you lie and you try to cover up. Because what we want to leave here, and just like, if you didn't do this, we got to prove that Kenneth Down did not do this. And I'll do that for you. I will, but I need to know how to do that.
I did not. There's no way.
So work there. We got all the employment records from the original detectives. Worked that crime scene for 2 weeks. They held that store for 2 weeks. Your name does not appear anywhere on any employment records around that time. You're not on any rosters. You're not anywhere. So maybe you worked at the store previously, or maybe you worked at the store after. Did you work at the store? You knew when the murder happened.
Yeah.
So you work at the store after the murder?
When it happened, I was living in Volusia County. Because I used to come visit my mom, and Mom said, "Oh,
so you know,
Champ got sorted."
You remember the murder. You never worked at the store after the murder.
No.
You worked at the store before the murder.
I came in there, I came in there before I didn't know it was a murder. I knew it was a bad robbery.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me he got shot, but there was.
Let's talk about that. You knew it to be a robbery, and you knew it to be somebody.
I didn't know. I heard somebody is just on the street said that somebody got shot.
How do you hear this on the street?
Just somebody. That's what people keep. I lived in Rosemont, Lockhart, so I mean everybody had their speculation of what happened. I didn't.
I think that the timeline is a little fuzzy because I think you were living on Cinder Lane in the apartment complex across from Terry when this happened in 1996. The information that we gathered.
I was gone before that. I know it was because I had to use my Clark food truck. They let me use it, but I used my pump trailer to move my stuff. Vice versa. But
So
I think that I was working at Worldwide Dedicated Service.
okay.
So
At that time.
So
I need some more water.
Yeah, I got you.
So when you, the thing is, we've done a pretty extensive review on this case. We did an evidence review, pulled all the evidence out with the chief prosecutor from the Ninth Circuit. The state attorney's office is very comfortable with us questioning you right now. This the evidence has been. We have all the evidence. Eventually, there's a good possibility that this is going to go in front of a jury one day, and a jury is not going to buy. I don't know. I can't explain it. It must have just been from my own work there. By the way, you're not on any employment records. How can you have? Not even working there. We have the employment records from '96.
I worked there. I didn't. Maybe not '96. I just don't. I can't remember the last time I worked there.
Well, you need to come up with that. You need to tell us that.
Okay, but I mean, there's somewhere the little champ got us so that I worked there. I was an employee there for off and on over a year.
Okay, look at this. So when I'm showing you this, oh man, look at this. Look at this blood drop. I'm not an expert in blood. I don't claim to be. It's clean, bro. So, and like I said, man, people do this for one or two reasons. Actually, one of three reasons. And it hasn't changed since the beginning of time.
Amanda are sick.
Huh? No.
Sick.
Women, money, and rage are just about the three oldest motives for something like this. Money, women, and rage, right? So obviously you were married to Wanda. Yeah. And see, we asked all these questions. I knew you were married to Wanda. I know you haven't spoke to Amanda and your son and all that stuff. See, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to just figure out why this happened. It's not. I don't want you to think I'm being rude or condescending because I'm not. I'm not asking you if you did this.
No, you saying I did it? I know for a fact I don't have that much anger, madness,
and that's what I want to get.
I don't have that in me though.
But
I can't even go out hunting with nobody because I can't shoot a freaking animal.
I know, but that's what I want to get at, and that's where rage comes in, where somebody violates you, or they do something.
I'm homophobic. I
never said you were.
Well, I'm just saying it's like I don't understand why I wouldn't have no rage towards somebody, not to hurt somebody. There's nothing
Well, that's,
can make me that.
is it, and I don't know, and I hate to get into the personal stuff because
That's
couldn't
fine.
imagine sitting here.
This is
but what
really personal now.
Yeah, it's
I'm like you're going to prison, jail.
It's very personal, and that's what I was asking. Is I didn't know if maybe you did know Terry, maybe you did come in for a cup of coffee, and maybe he did come on to you, or I don't know, or maybe something happened and you were young and it was 25 years ago.
I never really knew him as his name. I knew him, and that's why the other photos look familiar.
So when you say him, are you saying that?
I can't remember his
Can
name.
you identify him off of that picture I showed you?
The other picture that looks.
So,
That was a long time ago.
so Brian and I, between the two of us, we've been doing this job for over 50 years. I've been doing this 32 years myself, and Brian's been doing it for close to 20. So you're looking at, we've heard every single story. I started this job in 1989. That's how long I've been doing this job. This homicide occurred when I had already been on the job for 7 years.
What year?
So
What was here?
1996.
February 3rd, 1996. It was a Saturday.
In the morning, when Terry was opening the store, before opening, so he had to either let you in the store early, or he had inadvertently left it unlocked, and you went in the store. But if you knew him and you knock on the door, he probably would have let you in, and that makes perfect sense because if you know the guy and he sees you, because we're racking our head. We know the who, which is you and Terry. We know the where. We know the when. And we know the how, kind of, and we think we know the why. It's $4,000 missing. You're in a financial trouble.
I always had money though. I
Well, how did you declare bankruptcy?
Well, that was before that happened. I had good jobs though.
You
had
always
Class A
worked.
CDL. I always worked.
But who? So
So that leads us into the next question. If it can't be money, it can't be women because you're married, then it's rage. And so let's look at this picture again. You said, now we're looking at this picture.
I said he looked familiar. I said I'm trying to think back then.
And you got to think this. If we look at this, this was issued in '91, so he's probably a few years older, right? But do you ever recall going in and having coffee in the morning at that little gym?
Coffee, beer at night.
When you got coffee in the morning, would you sit and socialize with the guy or play scratch offs?
I'd play scratch offs.
You would
talk to him. Good luck. You have good luck. I'd come back.
Would it be before the store opened? Meaning he was in his morning routine. The store was locked to the general public, but he knew you as a regular and you'd come in.
No. No, I just knew the store didn't open until a certain time.
Do you remember what time it opened at?
I want to say 8 in that area, 7, 8.
Because this happened between like 7:09 and like 6:52, and I'm estimating here because we know what time the alarm was deactivated.
No, I'm sorry, it's 5:40.
5:40. Yep, you're right. It was very early in the morning, Kenneth.
The store
The only
opened.
time I ever went in any of the stores early when I had keys to go to the stores. Sometimes I opened that store, sometimes I opened the Clearcone store, sometimes the Cottage
So you may have had a key to that store.
No, you get the key from that store to lock it, and then you have to turn it in. Either you deposit it with your account because the store manager always had the key. I never kept the key.
So I'm really,
And I don't remember, I didn't work with him.
well, we know you were there that morning.
Because, like I said, I got cut at Worldwide Dedicated. I could have came in that Thursday before that. Because, like I said, my mom lived 2 blocks away from that store.
See, that's the issue.
Did you go with?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense. You're gonna have to try and explain that to 12 people.
When you look at this,
I'm just trying to explain it to you guys right now.
Yeah, but this is what I want you. This is what I want you to do. I want you to put your head where my head's at right here. Okay. And
Well, you've been studying this. This is my
I've been
first
studying
surprise.
this. You know what? You are not wrong, my friend.
Is there any way I can get a dip? My nerves are like.
Yeah, we'll get you one. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at this. You can't do this to somebody.
I can't do that.
Because you gotta. No, I didn't say that.
I can't do that.
But when you say this water bottle is a knife, when you do this to somebody, you know what you're hitting? You're hitting bone and you're sweating. profusely, so the handle of that knife becomes a little slippery. And sometimes your hand slides down. Are you right or left-handed?
Right.
That's perfect, because if you see where all these injuries are, they are all on the right side. Typically, when you're standing over somebody, right, or his left, there will be opposite side, right? So that's why you see them over on the right, because most people are stronger on their right. What I'm saying is your hand slips down and you inadvertently do this. So would you agree that if you did this to someone, whoever did this would probably have Terry's blood on him? Would you agree?
No.
Look at that. Probably has Terry's blood on him. And then when you inadvertently accidentally cut yourself. So you keep saying you cut yourself and came back, and we can't say that because you and this is what I can't get past. That's what I can't get past. Okay? Like, this looks bad.
Yeah.
This looks bad.
I mean, I didn't have my surgery until on both hands for.
When did you have surgery?
Huh?
When did you have surgery?
Probably on the same year.
This looks bad.
Based on
That-
my hands.
This right here, what happened to Terry, looks bad.
No,
I can't imagine sitting in your seat. It looks horrible, but it can be explained. And most people sitting in your seat, right, regardless of how hard it is, to be honest, it's very, very important. Very important, okay? Because there's a difference in somebody that grew up since they were 15, and they said, you know what? I just want to kill somebody. Right? No. Just hear me out. But there's a difference between there's a difference between somebody that is that young and it's in their mind their whole life, and they're just going around. That person's a monster. They wanted to do this, and they've thought about it, and then finally they say, you know, I'm going to kill that person, and then they go through the whole process of premeditating this, and they stalk them out, and they do it, and then finally they kill them one day. That's a monster. Somebody that's thought about this versus somebody that did this. One, because they had a kid on the way, in and out of jobs.
My daughter.
Just hear me out.
Okay.
That did this in a fit of rage, that never had these thoughts, or maybe something just happened. But it's important that you're honest with us, because it may not seem like it's important now, and it may be very hard for you to do. But I promise you,
Explain
I
anything
promise.
I would. I just.
There's only one way to
You're
explain
telling-
it.
You're telling. I can't. I'm in
You
shock.
don't-
I'm in shock. I just know.
You're shocked because you're here right now. Because for 25 years, you've never been in front of a detective asking
Well,
about your blood.
I've never committed a crime like this.
And how do
I got a DUI and.
In a semi-truck.
Huh?
In a semi-truck, right?
Yeah. Because I was living there.
You had disorderly
Okay.
conduct at Pleasure Island.
Oh, I see.
Well, that was
Yeah.
That somebody else was trying to fight me.
So you see,
Okay.
well, we've done our homework.
I know, but I'm not.
So this is what I think.
violent.
This is what I think happened. Brian and I have been back to the store. Obviously, Terry is working. He's open. It's like 5:44 in the morning. He's running his reports. You remember running your reports on the cash registers and all that stuff?
Yeah.
So he's up there.
I normally didn't open.
And
but
he would
yeah.
leave his keys hanging in from the lock because he had to let delivery people in. And it was easier because it was a key on either side, right? So the newspaper person would come by, the chip delivery, whatever, he'd unlock it. Well, here comes the murderer knocking on the door. Well, or the murderer had a key. Terry had to let that person in the store because he knew that person because the store wasn't open. So he lets the person he knows in the store.
Like I said, I never worked there when he worked there. That time.
You just said it.
You just wear that cross around your neck? Or do you live by it? Is it something that you just wear?
I used to go to my church.
You go to church?
My mom used to be a pastor.
And what did you learn all those years growing up in church?
Christ is my Savior, and I trust me. I just
Don't you think it's important
I just don't
confess
live
your
the life.
Well, you know what, and I don't think anybody truly does that walks this earth. I don't care how vested you are in the church.
Try, but I mean,
Everybody tries,
Yeah.
right? But obviously, if you know anything about religion, everybody can be saved, can be born again, right? But it starts with being true and being honest.
I know
And so-
God is my witness.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But there is a way.
I wouldn't do that.
There is a way.
There's no way I can do that.
Did you come in the store? Did you find him being attacked? There's no doubt that you were in the store that morning. Can we agree on that? You were in the store that morning. You had to be. There's no other way. were in the store that morning, right?
And that morning, no.
How can you say that?
I wasn't there.
Dave brings up a good point. Did you find Terry like this and freak the fuck out? Take his keys, check for a pulse, get his DNA on. Hear me out, because it's very plausible. Terry, oh my God, are you okay? And then all of a sudden, you touch him and you get a pulse, and now you take his keys because you're freaking out, because now what's going to happen is the cops are going to come and they're going to look at you like, oh, Kenneth is a murderer. Then you lock up and take his keys. Is that possible?
No.
But because that didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Like I said, I knew about the robbery, but seeing that,
So Dave and I have the wrong person.
definitely.
We have to go back from square one. We have the wrong person.
Yeah, the wrong person. I didn't kill nobody.
Do you swear to God that that's the truth?
God, I didn't kill
Can you raise your right hand? You swear? Can you raise your right hand? You swear to
I
God?
swear to God, I didn't
Wow.
kill nobody.
So, okay, so then how are we?
I was there, like I said, Thursday or Friday, probably. I'm just trying to.
You don't know when you worked there, Ken.
I know as far as a customer. I mean,
But
before that happened, I already.
you remember you were living in
injured.
Volusia. You told me you remember when this happened. You were living in Volusia
But I
County.
visit my mom almost every day.
In the morning.
My mom.
In the morning time.
Different times. All the time.
5 in the morning. 6 in the
No,
morning.
never.
That's when this happened.
I didn't come that early in the morning. Might have been there the night before. I can't. I can't.
That when the deputies got there initially, and now these deputies are still there, they wrote it down, they talked to us about it. Here's what I think happened. So you get inside the store, either you know that Terry has all the money out, the $4,000 is gone. We talked to the clerk who worked the night before, he said, yeah, I remember putting it in there, now it's gone. You kill Terry inside the bathroom, and then you come out, and people are starting to come. Customers, there's a guy waiting for a ride. And you remember that freezer is right across from the bathroom, right? You've been in the store, you worked in there. So you come out, and then we're like, why would there be? Because he went in the freezer. I think, a lot of people think, well, maybe he waited in the store overnight. But I don't think that's the case. No. I think that you saw something that alarmed you and you dipped inside the freezer and you hunker down in the freezer until somebody's gone. And then you haul ass to the door, you grab what you can behind the counter, and you take Terry's keys that are hanging, and you're familiar with this operation, and you're able to deadbolt it and haul ass to your car, your truck, your bike, and go back to your home. And I really think that you live on Center Lane in 96, not in Deltona. We're going to talk to Wanda today or tomorrow and iron out these timelines. That's one thing we have not done because we're not sure what your relationship with her. Now the cat's out of the bag, so we're going to talk to her and iron out these timelines. So is that right? That makes sense,
Here's
right?
the problem. You see what he's doing? You see what he's doing right now? He's piecing things together with the evidence. I understand. But here's the thing. That's what we're forced to do. And I can, listen, whether you want to tell me, listen, Ken, either you want to tell me what happened or you don't.
I wouldn't stab nobody else. I could want to never kill.
I know you didn't want to do this, but it happened.
No.
But I can tell just by looking at you. One, I think, honestly, I don't think you're a monster. I think you actually feel very bad, and I think you feel very horrible, and I think this is a very uncomfortable situation for you to be in right now. I truly do. I can read it all on you. I can feel it off of you. I feel that you really.
I would never
this is
do
what,
something like this.
But this is what's happening in your current day. You have to think. We got to go back 25 years. Where you're at right now, and I speak to people just like you in the same situation, and you're conflicted right now. You don't know what the hell to do. You just got pulled in from going to the bank, from working, and it was going to be another day. You were going to go hit the sicko. You were going to buy some scratchers, play your numbers, get some beer, and go home. Maybe you were going to go clean the business that you typically clean. This was going to be a typical day for you, and your just got spinned around today, and you're conflicted right now because you don't know me and you don't know Dave, and you don't know if we're blowing smoke up your ass. And you're like, you know what? I really want to tell these guys.
I'm sure you're not lying to me.
Motivation comes in at some point, and you don't know what's best for you. And I'm telling you something like this right here, 73 times, the best thing you can do, Terry, is to be honest. Because anybody looking back 25 years could put themselves, because we've all done things in our past. And you know what?
I would never kill.
But that's
nobody.
okay. Stop saying kill. That's okay, because you know what? We just have been lucky enough that we didn't get caught. Okay? Everybody in this room, whoever didn't get caught, me and Dave, we're just better liars than you. Okay? Because we're all human, we all sin, we all do it in our past, and it just hasn't caught up to us. And that's where we're at. You're conflicted, and self-preservation comes in. And you have to stop in your mind thinking, well, if I say what I did, what are people going to think about me? Those other people. Because they're not in your shoes right now.
I'm just thinking about my life right now.
Your life has been turned upside down.
Definitely.
Your life has been turned upside down. But you know what? You have to not care about what people think about you. Okay, because they're not in your...
Right now, it's like, I'm in shock. I'm like, wow.
You're in shock because it's been 25 years. You've been living...
I never did that. I wouldn't do that, though. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't do that. I couldn't hurt nobody like that.
Is it possible...
I couldn't.
Listen, is it possible you blacked out? And is it possible after so many years, Kenneth, that
I've
you
blacked
just...
out before, but that's...
Is it possible that you've just put this so far back in your memory bank that it's living someplace that you... Well, I know you didn't forget. I can read it on you. I hate to tell you this, like I'm not a rocket surgeon, and I say that with a little bit of humor, but I can read it on your face. No, I can read it on your body.
You have evidence against you for doing something like that. It's like it's beyond.
It's super simple. You have to explain, and you can't do that, can you?
No. There's no way.
And so when a prosecutor gets up in court and lays out the crime scene and lays out the reenactments and what she or he believes happened, you have no defense.
Yeah, I don't have no defense.
Well, why is that?
It's like I said, been in that store with you say behind the counter and stuff. I just can't.
You've been living with this for 25 years.
I can't recall.
You just have to get this off your shoulders, bro.
I wouldn't done it. There's no way.
How good does it feel just to get this off your chest, man? It hasn't been eating you up, man. It has been eating you up.
I can't say something I did. I know I didn't do it. I wouldn't.
I don't want you to do that. I just want you to be honest.
I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing like that. I couldn't do nothing like that.
But you know what's weird is me looking back when I was like 15, 16. There's stuff I would have done back when I was 16 that I wouldn't do now. Then I look back when I was 20s and 30s. There's stuff I would have done back then that I wouldn't do now because it's called maturity. As you get older, there's just some you do that you wouldn't do now that you would do 25 years ago. Right? You get older, you get wiser. Yeah. Just like you got divorced. I've been divorced. Right? There's that if I get married again, I won't do again. So, it's just called life. It's called maturity. So you keep saying I wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it now because what are you, 54? 54, right? 54-year-old Kenneth Stowe wouldn't do this. But 31-year-old, because you were 31 at the time, 31-year-old Kenneth Stowe did. And that's what we got to get past. Yes, you wouldn't do it now. Yes, you regret this. Yes, you're sorry. I can see it on your face, and I feel horrible for you. It's a bad situation. But 54-year-old Kenneth Stowe wouldn't do this, but 31-year-old would have. And that's what we need to know why. I personally, my opinion, this is me just putting the evidence together, that just like he floated one, I'm going to float one. I think Kenneth came on to you. I think maybe possibly you and Kenneth, you and Terry maybe had something. I'm not calling you gay, and he threatened to tell your wife. And how would that look back in 1996? That's my opinion. I don't know. Nobody knows but you, and that's what we're here to do.
I've never
I've never been. Do you want us to piece this together for you? This is your story, bro. You don't want us to piece this together for you because he's going to say one thing, I'm going to say another, and then the prosecutor's going to say one thing, and then you got 12 jury members, and they're going to say their own. The only person that can tell us why, how, and how remorseful you are is you. And that's what's important, is the remorse.
Is there a chance I can go to the bathroom?
Yeah, we'll get you back. Of course. I know you've been chugging those waters like crazy. But
I just got dry throat because
you need that bottle of water?
Yeah, no,
okay, we'll get
I gotta go bathroom first. I gotta pee.
Okay. But that's where we're at, man.
And I can't hold my poop. So
yeah. Okay, we'll get you a bathroom. This is where we're in somebody else's house here.
Okay.
But that's what you have to think about. I want you to think of that. Being remorseful is huge. Because if you're not, then it is what it is. Then hey, you know what? Then we say, you know what? Dave, we were wrong. This guy is a monster. He stabbed this guy 73 times and don't give a shit. versus this guy who is like, you know what, man, I was 31 at the time. I was falling on tough times. My daughter, who's your second kid, was born. You're living in an apartment, going from place to place, bankrupt, driving truck, working 2 jobs. I get it. But you just wanted to do this for the help. Maybe you enjoyed the thrill. I don't know, man. Maybe you've done more.
I would never do it. I want.
But that's what I'm saying, man. Let me go see if I can get a bathroom for you.
So that's why Brian was asking if you did you work under another name? Because we have all the employee records from that time from that store, and we don't see your name.
In '96, I did. I don't remember the last time I worked there.
I talked to the people at Universal Studios. I think you left there in '93, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I'm recalling that off the top of my head. You worked there for a couple of years. I know your name's on a bunch of OPD reports because you arrested so many shoplifters out there. But from
I'm just trying to think. After Universal Studios, like I said, the last convenience store I worked at, I think was Circle K.
Mm-hmm. And then
I'm just trying to think of any, because from there, Universal Studios, when I started driving truck, I don't think I worked at any convenience stores after there. After I left Universal Studios, but once I started driving truck, I made enough money to pay much stuff.
Yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, everybody has their.
And I think that's when I left over in that area. I left because I was making good money driving truck.
You want to hit this bathroom real fast?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
You know what?
We're going right.
No funny business or else.
All right, this is uncomfortable, man.
All right.
Having to go to the bathroom, but this is what I'm going to touch on before we go any further.
Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
From my nicotine, my nerves are kicking.
Yeah, I don't know. I will ask. That's
Probably
this is not
have some kind of weird policy.
Yeah. But
Thanks.
here's where we're at, man. And just like I touched on before, I really don't want to think that you've ever done this before. But obviously, clearly, we know you did this, and we need to get past whether you did or not, and what anyone else is going to think, and what Emily's going to think. You know, we really need to get.
Well,
past
she know I wouldn't do it.
Well, we need to get past that because we need to talk about the remorse. Because, like I said, there's two things, man. There's a difference when somebody is apologetic and sorry and remorseful, and then there's just like this person over here that is just like, oh. You can have video, DNA, and witness testimony that saw me do it, but I didn't do it. Right? So that's what we did. We deal with that a lot.
No matter what, I'm going to jail.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
I like to make a phone call. I like to call Teal.
Who's Teal?
What's going on. Emily.
Oh, you call her Teal. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to go talk to her as well. So, I mean, like I said, the cat's out of the bag now, so we're going to talk to everybody. But the thing is, like, you know, you say you wouldn't do it, but you know, you watch those crime shows, right?
I see it.
You see the people that are
feel so bad
remember
for
that
people that go and you get out of prison so many years later because
Well, usually they're exonerated by DNA. Well, that's. So, like, remember that BTK killer? Remember that guy that was in Kansas and was killing all those people, and he was married, had a family, was like a scout leader involved in his church and all that stuff. It's the same thing. Like, I mean, I don't think you're a serial killer. Once your DNA goes in the system, hopefully it doesn't ping on any other cases. Actually, your DNA was in the system from this case, and it never pinged on any other cases. So I'm pretty confident that you don't.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, about some,
What happened with that?
Nothing. I guess they did me. They talked to me. They talked to both my brothers.
Did you talk to both your brothers when that happened?
About what?
When that happened?
No, they went. The detectives from Missouri
I understand,
went.
but did you talk to your brothers after that? Like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, we all talked, but our dad was gone most of our lives. So, and we have other siblings that we never met before. He was married like 8 times, my dad. So I knew I had different siblings.
You curious how the genealogy works? How we ended up on you? Are you curious about that? I'd be happy to explain it to you. It's actually kind of interesting.
I've seen forensic files. I understand. I can understand what. I don't know.
Did you have any reason when you worked at the The trekking place. Did you have any reason? Did you have any reason to go inside the freezer? Any reason?
We're not talking about the freezer that's open to the public. You know the big steel doors that go into where you would stock the freezer from.
I used to deliver there when I worked for Grantham. I don't know where the timeline was at. Just trying to remember.
You delivered to the store.
Yeah, I delivered to Grantham. I delivered to Dixie, Publix.
So you were.
I had to go in the coolers.
Were you a delivery guy for that store in 1996?
I delivered to all of Lockhart, even Paramore, everything in Orlando.
And where does Grantham? That's the name of the company, Grantham.
Yeah.
Where does that fall in your timeline of work after Universal, and then?
I worked at Hugh Supply, Grantham, about almost the same time period.
So
I worked at Grantham.
You went from Universal to Grantham to Hughes.
I mean, you guys probably look back at it easier now. You could probably look at my income tax and see when I worked there.
So what do? I go back to Orange County today, and you got to put yourself in my shoes right now. Kenneth. I go back to Orange County and I say, "Hey, Sarge, we talked to the guy that he was stabbed 73 times and his throat was slit, but you know what? He just said he didn't do it, and we got to go back to square one. How did we say you didn't do it? Because just like we owe it to." We can't.
I didn't.
We can't.
Yeah, I know.
And that's what I'm saying.
Keep going forward with this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
But I don't want to keep going forward. But I can't.
That's the truth.
I didn't do nothing. I want to kill him. I would have
today.
I would have done. I couldn't. Even, my friends used to go.
What's the worst thing you've ever
done? Go hunting.
What's the worst thing? And let's just say you didn't do this. What's the worst thing you did in your life that you've never gotten caught for?
Well, I got caught drinking and driving. So. Worst thing.
Did you ever steal money?
No, it'd be like more like merchandise. Like, I'd get a can of dip and I didn't have money to pay for it. I want to steal money because I was always, my whole life, I was like instilled in my brain, I can work.
So you steal
work 80 hours. Just because, at the time I didn't have the money for it.
Is that when you were delivering something? Did you grab a can of dip from behind the counter?
Not delivered. It's like, sometimes I worked at Cumberland Farms. But I'd go back and say, I'd pay for this, and then they let me have a charge account sometimes. But I mean, I didn't take nothing from nobody because, like I said, I used to work 80 hours a week. I don't have a problem with working. That's the biggest part of my divorce, and that's my biggest part of my divorce because we had bought a house and new cars and everything. And she's like, "You work too much. Who else is going to pay for everything?"
Mm-hmm. So like I said, I go back to Orange County today, and I said, "Man, No, he didn't do it, man. He said he didn't do it."
Well, I don't have the feeling that you're going to do that. You're going to take.
But you have to put yourself in my shoes. You keep saying that no matter what, I'm going to jail, and that's because I think subconsciously, like I said, man. And I want you to. I really wish that you would just be real. And like I said, fuck everybody else.
I know you guys are trying to talk.
Because you seem like a good dude.
I didn't do that.
We're not trying to get you to confess. We're getting you.
No, I understand. I mean, you guys are just
like
doing your job. You have what you feel that you're trying to put stuff together.
No, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to put you at ease. That's what because you seem.
I'm not at ease.
You're not at ease. But when people speak to detectives, they're very uncomfortable, and so what people often do is they say, "You know what? This is horrible, right? Mm-hmm. This is horrible. This is very bad." And but it can be explained. And people on the outside looking in sometimes are like, "Oh man, that's crazy." But then when you dumb it down and when you go to the very beginning stages of how this happened, oftentimes it can be explained. And a lot of times people then say, "You know what? I can put myself in their shoes." Doesn't mean I would do the same thing, but I can sympathize and I can understand and I can grasp why they did what they did.
Okay.
But the problem is until we get the real reason, we don't know. It's not like you just, like I said, went out there and you said, "You know what? I'm gonna pick one person and I'm gonna kill them today." No, this was specific. It was targeted. There's a reason why. Whether you want to sit here and be real with me or not, there's a reason why.
I'm trying to be as real as I can with this information you're trying to.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And so, what do? Do you just call Emily and say, "Hey, babe, was stabbed," and then she's gonna say, "They just let you go," like, and you say, "Yeah, I didn't do it." So, like, what do you think? Like, where's your head at right now?
just spinning right now.
It's crazy.
My nerves are just like.
So when you would you deliver in the morning to these places?
Oh yeah.
Is that typically when deliveries come?
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, downtown. Sometimes you almost had to deliver early. Not that store. You had plenty of room to park there.
So Terry gets murdered. You're potentially a delivery guy.
Oh no, I wasn't delivering there. I mean, I couldn't tell you the timeline. Because I was thinking.
At a store you knew the guy.
Well, I had just.
You think you'd have been like, hey, maybe I should go by and.
I can't remember back then if that was even a route of mine. You could check back then what's that route. I probably went in there and then.
Let me tell you something.
I gave him my ticket. Basically, if it wasn't a regular store meet, like I said, I used to do Orlando, and I used to.
What were you delivering? What were you delivering to
You
this
could
store?
talk to Kenneth, my brother. He was one of the. I don't want to say managers, but he was a warehouse manager.
What would you deliver to this store?
Beer and wine.
You know what's so weird is you said you watch crime drama, right? I do too. I love them. I'll watch 48 Hours, Dateline, whatever the case may be. I enjoy it. I actually do what I love to do for a living. I'm very fortunate and lucky. But here's the thing. So somebody like you, I think, will be like, man, that's crazy. Looking at the wounds, you won't even look at it.
It's
because it's very,
when you're saying
but it's very weird.
I
know because it's something that you're being forced to relive. And it's very odd. And it's very odd
I didn't
looking at
relive
you.
that.
No, but
really, I thought he got shot. I thought when.
But it's very odd watching you here in person, not wanting to look down at this, knowing how much you watch it.
And then
No, but you don't want to look at it.
I don't want to. Who wants to look at that? I can't even watch freaking when she watches the ER and when people got cut.
Yeah, but
I
it's
can't
different.
do it.
It's different when you did it and you're trying to relive it, and it's like, man, what the was I thinking back 25 years ago? What was I thinking, Kenneth? You were 31 at the time. Your second kid was born, and I don't know, man. But I would much rather you be seen as this remorseful guy, this honest guy with a cross around his neck, hard-working, blue-collar guy, who is just
I'm being honest.
has a little bit of compassion and sympathy towards this guy and his family, versus you that are just sitting here and just no matter what evidence you have in front of you, you would just go back to, well, I know I didn't do it, and that's what's difficult.
So there's a saying.
I mean, there's things that put me in that store at different jobs and working there, but not.
There's nothing that puts you there.
I understand. You keep telling me this, and
Well, I don't want you to just don't take my word. I can show you FDLE biology reports from scientists.
I just can't believe I'm going to jail.
So so there's this thing, like, nothing in this job is everything, but everything is something. So before we sat down in this room today, we knew a lot, and now when we leave this room, we know a little bit more. We don't know the truth because you're only giving us bits and pieces of it.
I'm trying to be honest as I can.
It
was a long time ago, and
when you say
I didn't do that though.
And that's the key word. Like when you say you're trying to be honest, that means if somebody being honest with me, they say
what you're saying that you think I did, or you think I did.
Listen, you're just you're giving me psychological indications that you're not telling me the truth because you say you're trying to tell the truth. If somebody being honest with me, they say I'm telling you the truth. They don't say I'm trying to tell the truth because you're trying.
Do this.
You're trying to tell the truth. You're trying. That means psychologically you want to. But if Ryan's
I know I didn't do.
If you said, Dave, I'm telling you the truth, you didn't say that. You said I'm trying to tell the truth, which means the truth is in there somewhere, and you don't want to tell me.
What about lie detector tests?
I don't believe in them.
You know why?
Because that little champ, they made you take lie detectors when you get. And my mom was like, "Oh, just take it, and you can work here." So I took it, and it failed it because
So
the next day I came back, same questions, same examiner, same everything. Oh, you passed it. Okay, we start there, man. And obviously,
okay. So you don't want to do a lie detector test?
Right now, I couldn't do a lie detector. My nerves are shut.
And you know what?
You put a dip in my mouth and let me calm down just a little bit and maybe talk to somebody. But
you know what? I will do that for you, man. You've been nothing but respectful. Let me get you a dip.
Look at that, you broke him down. You see, you broke him down.
Well, my nerves was a long time.
Yeah, you can just fit one of those little cups.
There you go.
I mean, they let me have.
I don't even know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but here, you've been nothing but respectful. I had a cup of coffee, so I'm sure that you had a dip. So, but we gotta go. So you don't believe in lie detector tests?
I mean, if they would clear my name, yeah, I'll take it.
So you took a lie detector test when you worked for Little Champ. What did they say you failed it on? What was the question?
It was so long ago, but I was like, and I've seen people, listen. I mean, I would probably take. I'd probably. I mean, if you're saying I mean, if it gets to the point where
let's be honest, you ain't gonna pass a lie detector test.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking about
because you're trying to tell the truth. You're not telling the truth.
I told you the truth of what I know. I just don't know the days, the time, when I went in there. I just don't know that. That was long, a lot of years ago. A lot of beers.
Before we came here, we didn't know that you knew Terry. Now we know that you knew Terry.
I didn't know I knew Terry, and I mean, you can show a picture. He looks familiar back then. I mean,
you just go in and said you used to go do scratch offs with him.
But I kind of want to touch on that and come back to that. Okay. Are you saying that you 100% know that Terry's the guy that would work the counter when you went in, or are you saying he looks familiar? There's a difference.
He looks familiar. I mean, but I used to go on it.
Let me get that picture. Let me find that picture I have.
There was a woman working there about the same time he did, and I knew her and her husband more than him because some guy was trying to mess with her one night, and so she, like, her husband came and said, "Kenneth, was she getting him out of here and everything?" But
so you were known in the store? They knew you by name? Well, even before you worked there?
I usually seen the woman. Like I said, he looks familiar.
But that's what I want to ask you. Are you certain that's the guy, or are you just making a general statement saying he looks familiar? That's what I want to know.
He looks familiar.
So you don't know if that's the guy you socialized with when you went in?
No.
Was that the guy that you heard on the street in Rosemont that was shot during the robbery?
That's the one thing I heard. I didn't
That
hear
it was him.
I didn't hear that. I just heard somebody was shot.
Did you ever go back to the store after you heard that to find out, man, who got shot?
Last time I remember, like I said, I wasn't living there. Last time I remember, Little Champ never reopened. It turned into a little ching-ching convenience store.
But do you ever remember the victim's picture coming across the street, and you see, that's the guy that I got my beer from. Or your brother, hey, that's the guy I get my scrap
I got
from.
most of the information from my mom because she lived in the neighborhood.
So you remember when this murder happened? You didn't work at Little Champ after the murder.
No.
It was before the murder that you worked there.
Yeah. And it was before the murder.
And then
Definitely before.
You never thought, like, to go back to the people you worked with? Like,
I didn't, like I said, you
Like,
know how much of a changeover they did?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean, there was nobody there that I knew that worked there. I didn't work with anybody at that store when I worked for Little
You
Champ.
as a delivery guy, like, nobody ever... You
But
never
you gotta look at when
You never delivered after the murder? You never delivered to that store after the murder?
No, most of my deliveries with Grantham would be on the East Coast or downtown Orlando, Paramore.
So all your
I could have
presence,
been in that store, Circle K, sometimes.
all your presence in that store was before the murder, whether you're working or delivering. You never went there after the murder.
Because I didn't live there.
Okay, but so no, you never went there after the murder.
But it wasn't. I don't think it ever reopened as a Little Champ. I just don't know. I don't recall it did.
Do you know how when you look?
But
at
I've been back there when it was a.
Let me read you this.
I've been back there.
When you look at this, that guy stabbed him a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
A ton. Throat slit.
I see that. I see. That's horrible.
You know how many of these are deadly? Not all of them. In fact, there's more on here that are not deadly that are deadly. That's just how it is, because I could stab you all in your legs, and granted, I don't hit your femoral artery or something significant blood supply. You can survive superficial knife wounds. Is it possible that he threatened you, and you just fucking stabbed him once, and then you just lost it? Because that's a difference too, Kenneth. That's a difference between if he threatened you. Maybe he thought you had money because you're a hardworking guy. Maybe you had a watch on. And I'm not saying that there's the possibility that he threatened you that day, and you just stabbed him one time, and then he died and went unconscious, and you said, and you just took the.
No matter what somebody done, unless they killed one of my kids or somebody else.
I understand that, but
would I do something like that? A person I can run away or fight myself out of it, but like that, no.
All right.
I want to have that
Crazy.
much rage to.
But you never know till you're because
I have some self-control to where I wouldn't hurt nobody like that.
everybody says that until they get cut off in traffic, and then your mother rolling the window down, throwing a finger up because you're just so caught in that moment, and
I turn the cheek real easy.
you know. Now, 25 years ago when you were 31, when it wasn't as easy as it is now. That's the difference.
Actually, I mean, I had more important things in my life than I do right now. Right now, it's simple. It's.
You said you talked to your daughters?
We've been trying to go back and forth.
You talked to your son?
No, like I said, he's angry. He thinks I.
What did they say was the cause for the divorce?
I haven't talked to him. 'Cause I showed him that when everything happened, your mom lied. I mean, basically, she lied, tried to get me arrested, so she had control of the house.
Domestic violence issues?
Yeah, I mean, but
What did she
lied.
say?
She said I was trying to keep her from leaving. I said no, and it was just the way that everything happened. Even because I had a defense attorney at the time, but we were still separated. Even the defense, because I showed him, okay, if you had something so dramatic in that night, she wrote one report, and then she turned around and wrote another report. I guess the one for the courts, the next day was for the Volusia County Police. They're totally different, and they've seen that. And I told my son, and he got mad, but I was like, your mom's going to get arrested. She's going to have to go on court and lie about this. She wrote 2 different reports. And I didn't want my daughter to have to go to jail. Even my daughter told me, Dad, I know Mom lied. She promised me a cell phone. She promised me all of this stuff. Because she told the police officer that night, yeah, I'm in fear of my life for my dad. I never hit my kid. I spanked both of them one time in their life. And my son, the reason I spanked him is because he kicked his little sister. So, I mean... And my daughter, she got spanked one time on her leg because she called her mom a bitch when she was like 12 years old. So I mean, I would sit down with my kids and talk to them.
But your son even went through some measures to change his name.
I don't know.
Yeah, like that's pretty.
Oh, he stayed angry at me because he thinks all everything was my fault. No telling what she told. She told my daughter to lie the night I got arrested.
What did your daughter and son do now? Did they work?
The last thing. My son should probably be a doctor by now. I don't know for sure. But
You were in med school and stuff?
when I got my DUI 16 years ago, I sort of couldn't transportation-wise, couldn't go see them. And I was like, when they get old enough, they'll come see me. My daughter reached out a few times. My son thinks it's all my fault. But my daughter reached out to me and she told me I got a new house. And the last time we were talking, she goes, Mom, she wouldn't even call her Mom. She was calling her Wanda because she was so mad at her mom. She said, Mom leaves me and she doesn't do this. So right now, I don't know what the situation
When's
is.
the last time you heard from Amanda?
I want to say 6 months ago. We talked on the phone.
Okay.
And she said she moved into another house. She moved into her own house. And I was like, good, you know. But
So I guess that's
my emotions, I was like, you know, I called her mom a lie and she's like, no, I don't want to start that, Dad. I was like, okay. But I was just emotional because I hadn't talked to my daughter for so long, so they got me.
Does Emily work now?
Yeah, she does cleaning service.
Okay. You help her at night and stuff?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my next question, right? You are living a good life. You seem, everything you tell me, that you're not a really selfish person. You're selfless, right? You work hard. This needs to stop. Because what happens then is now when this investigation is going to go on, then you find yourself and you drag them down and then all of a sudden you know what happens, because it happens every time. Money. Money is always the root of all investigations. You know why? Because when you're hemmed up, what do you need? You need money. What do you need? You need to live off of where, you know, if you end up getting arrested, then you need a lawyer. So you know what you end up doing? You end up dragging your whole family down. And all because you just don't want to be honest. And it goes back to the self-preservation thing that I did. Because you want us to be honest. But in fact, what I sense what's going to happen is you're gonna tell us not the truth. You're going to tell us that I didn't do this, and that's where you're going to die on that hill. And then what's going to happen is then now you're going to force Emily to work extra. She's going to have to get 3 jobs because this is a significant investigation. And then everything is about money. Versus somebody that is just like, you know what, I've lived a selfless life my whole life. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm remorseful. I'm sorry. I'm a decent guy. and I'm not going to drag my family down with me for this. That's a good dude. Regardless of what they did 25 years ago, that's a solid guy. And that's a solid guy. That's the kind of guy that lives the life that he's preached his whole life.
Guys,
I got all day, bro. I got nothing better to do but this today.
I mean,
But what I'm saying is, are you going to do that?
there's nothing I can't confess to something I didn't do.
I don't want you to do that.
I know, and you keep saying that, but you guys already are convinced that this happened. So no matter.
What would you do if you were me?
I
What would you do?
understand.
What would you do if you were me?
Probably the same thing you're talking to me about right now.
Somebody-
I just know I can't explain
Somebody that did this,
why
what
it's
should
there,
happen to
besides
him?
the fact I work there and I've been in there. But besides what you're telling me, I understand. I want to do nothing different.
What should happen to the person that did this?
Go to prison the rest of their life.
No second chances?
For that?
Yeah, not even if it can be explained?
No.
Not even if it can be explained? Like, it's real sometimes. If it was a knockout, drag-out fight, if this guy was trying to steal a can of dip and Terry tried to stop him and he punched him and then all of a sudden you just went off the handle?
I don't have that rage in me. I could never hurt nobody like that. It's not.
Did you discover him and he was murdered and you checked for his pulse? Did you do that?
I didn't
Did you do that?
I didn't know you did that.
Did you find him murdered? I'm trying to do is.
I understand what you're
Did you
trying
find
to
him
do.
like this on February 3rd? And did you check for his pulse? And did you just see the cash behind? That's different. We could explain that. Maybe you just took the $1,000 that was sitting there.
I didn't. I wanted.
So you didn't find him murdered?
No.
I want to make sure. Let me ask you this. Did you find him murdered on February 3rd? Yes or no?
I've never found nobody murdered
In your life?
in my life.
Did he hit you and you try to defend yourself?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
I didn't hurt him. I didn't hurt nobody. I've never hurt nobody.
So what happens, I don't know, 2-3 years from now when all the evidence is presented at you and now, what do you do, man? And then do you then say, you know what, man, I kind of, because at the end of the day, everybody involved in this investigation, whether it's me or the prosecutor, no, they're all human beings.
Yeah.
The prosecutor, whatever lawyer, when all this stuff comes to a head, everybody's a human being and everybody bleeds when they get cut. And everybody has some kind of compassion and some kind of soul. And so then we're like, oh, well, Kenneth was honest. And so all that kind of kicks in and it's like,
I can see that.
You know?
And
and so what I don't want,
I can live with something like that. I myself if I blacked out and I knew I had done something like that. If something ever happened like that, I couldn't live with myself. There's no way. Because to me, there wouldn't be no forgiveness for that.
and everybody can be forgiven.
Not that. That's.
I'm trying to explain.
Besides being. I can't explain that. There's no way I can explain that. There's no way. I mean, you're sitting there telling me. There's no way I can tell you why it was there.
That is a horrible
Except for-
offense. I'm telling you, that's a horrible offense.
I know.
Because
I can see how you guys are sitting here looking at it, looking at me, but I'm just like, wow, I want to do it.
You know,
and for no reason.
we work with a bunch of other detectives and agents and FDLE, and we talk about this case, and we're always trying to figure out. We're hoping that this day you shed some light on fill some of the gaps that we have. Because I'm thinking like, well, if the guy's in the store, Terry appears to have let him in. He knew who he was. Terry's in the bathroom. Maybe Terry goes to the bathroom. Why does the guy just take the money off the counter and leave?
Take the money and run.
Take the money and run.
Yeah.
Because the reason is because if he took the money and ran, Terry would be like, oh.
And you know what?
Ken's gone, the money's gone.
Well, I'm sure you can. I mean, you got to be a way for you to see. I've always worked, but I've always worked. So at that timeline, find out what job I had and where I was working.
Yeah.
I might have been not even in the city. I was driving for work. I dedicated.
We know you're in the city.
Okay, I know, but
We can't.
I've been.
So you're talking about people getting exonerated, how many people get
So here's the other
I'm
funny
just
thing.
saying.
Dave's done this a lot longer than I have.
Okay, but
And here's the thing: people would rather deal with a murderer than a thief and a liar.
Okay,
It's
but-
weird.
Okay, but like I said, I was here maybe 6 months ago with Missouri Police.
We can explain all that.
Okay,
That's
well,
easily explained.
okay, I'm just
Let
saying.
me just
that's
read
why
this.
I don't know.
A judge
everything.
reviewed this,
Okay.
okay, and has even agreed with us that you have committed this crime.
Okay.
And that's what we need to. That's what we need to explain. And what I don't want to do, in telling you, man, is I don't want you to get wrapped up in what other people are going to think, and I don't want you to bring your family down with you, man. It's a long, dark,
Be
hard
sitting
battle.
here right now for
I know, but
a
that's what I'm
crime
saying.
like this is already.
Emily's working her ass off. She's cleaning offices at night. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I don't want to be disrespectful. Nobody in this office is a millionaire right now, right? We're all working hard for a living. I'm sure everybody here could use a little bit more money than they have.
If I had done this, I would tell you. I would tell you. Let me take. I would tell you if I did this or whatever, if I'd done it. But because I wouldn't want to face anybody in my family and them thinking, "Dad."
But this is
you
a
did
real
this."
personal thing.
I know.
Because we're dealing with somebody that's gay and that's very uncomfortable even in today's world
I
for
know,
somebody
but
that may have never even talked about it in their whole entire life.
Okay.
It's very uncomfortable.
All right. 4 years ago when I worked at Perkins,
Mhm.
okay, so to take the gay thing out of it, so I worked with Scott. He died of a heart attack, but everybody knows we used to go out. Okay, he took come pick me up in his Corvette. We'd go to Hard Rock. We were cool. He had a partner that works at Disney. Then everybody knew how me and Scott were cool. John Carson, he'd sleep in the bunk. We went to Georgia. We did deliveries. He was openly gay. He went to his house. He had, he was a gay guy, and his partner was the girlish kind of guy. So, I mean, I'm just telling you, I have had relationships with gay guys, and he's like, man, I don't have many heterosexual friends. That's what Scott used to tell me. I was like, that's cool. Hey, you just know how I am. I know how you are. So I was like, it's cool. You can have your thing.
But I guess I got to go there now. Have you ever crossed the line with a guy?
I've never
Have you ever kissed a guy?
No.
Had sex with a guy?
No.
Has anyone
No.
ever tried to do that on you, where it made you
No.
uncomfortable and put you in this?
I've always made a step. Your sexual preferences, that's on you. That's
Okay.
But
So were you like that in '96? Were you as cool with gay people in '96
I
as
didn't
you are
like
today?
that. As long as they didn't do anything
So
with
that's
me.
why I'm asking. Did Terry know that you were like that and cool? And did
He
he come
never
on to
approached
you?
me like that. Like I said, I don't really recognize him he looked a little familiar maybe, but we didn't have it. It wouldn't be like I knocked on the door and he would let me in. We didn't have that relationship. I'd go
But
there.
you're very comfortable in referencing he and him and we. So it's almost weird to me that you don't want to say that you knew Terry, but you're acting like you do in the way you answer these questions. You keep saying we, he.
It's like
So you did know him.
Sammy worked not where
Did you know him to call him Terry?
no.
What'd you call him?
Hey, how you done? You playing? You winning anything? You done? We didn't have.
Is
a
it 100%
first name.
him?
He didn't. It's not like I walked in. I don't know. I know a couple guys that work there. That, like I said, I seen a female a lot more times than I ever seen anybody else during the day. So I worked my shift. That's the way it was. I know Sam at Citgo because hey, what's your name? But he knew me from the other Sammy that used to work there. I'm sure that's not their real names, but instead of they Sam. So I didn't. They know me by name. So I've been there more than I went there.
So let me ask you this: Sam ends up killed.
Mhm.
This is hypothetical. This is not. Sam ends up dead. 10 years go by. Would you ever forget Sam's face? To where a detective then shows you a picture of Sam. Are you thinking, oh man, he looks familiar?
No,
You know Sam.
that's
Just like you knew Terry.
I didn't know.
You knew Terry.
Not by name. I really didn't. Just so they changed so many different employees at these stores.
Yeah.
The only one I knew from this Sam is because the other one was named Sam.
Mhm.
So I knew him since they've reopened that store. So I used to work at the packing store down the street. And they wanted me to work at that store, and I was like, I just don't have time. I'm already working 2 jobs. So
Did you ever work at the convenience store on Bay Street?
that's right across from the Orange Tire.
You worked there?
Yeah.
How long did you work there for?
maybe 3 months. 4 months.
See, that's what's so weird about this whole thing here. Because working it, we've always said, clearly somebody was familiar with what was going on at 5, 6 in the morning. Because when you're opening a store, you're running reports, cashing out the previous day,
Yeah.
XYZ.
But
So it's really no surprise to us that you've dabbled in the convenience store world. You've worked there from time to time. You know what's going on.
the only
right?
thing I
And
ever
so-
had to do is close.
It's close. Right, so you
That's-
know when you close, you put money in the safe,
Mm-hmm.
and then the manager the next day will run a
Oh, yeah,
report
that's-
and they'll close it out.
Yeah.
So it's very, because like I said, Dave and I had agreed that maybe somebody familiar with the opening routine. Because
I didn't know.
the glass wasn't broke. Nobody broke into the store,
Okay. I understand.
right?
He
so
might have
that's-
seen somebody else that he opened the door for.
Of course, but that's somebody else.
A former employee of the same exact store.
Yeah, now it's a former employee who knew what was going on, who lived in the area.
But you have to look when I
Who was
worked there. I didn't know.
bankruptcy?
I didn't
Who
know.
just had a second
I-
kid? That's what I'm saying. All these things are things that everything that
I don't
the
know
person
when
you
I
are
filed
now.
bankruptcy. Was it close to that date?
It was, and
Yeah.
then you bought a new
But I
car
mean,
afterwards. I believe you bought a new car
You-
afterwards.
I do have it on my computer. If you want me to pull up on the computer.
That's
I'll
what
tell you.
you-
I mean, you could. It's everything's going to come out in the wash.
It's
So, I mean,
all a
I-
snowball effect.
It's I know, but
It all goes until
Okay.
it breaks.
I know. But,
So you
It-
leave. So
it-
you leave Universal Studios.
Mhm.
You're working, and you work. Your mom worked for the Little Champ. She's a regional manager or district manager for, or she worked at the one on Rose by the McDonald's.
she
right?
worked at Rose.
And she gets you in the Little Champ after Universal Studios,
I was working there before Universal Studios.
before Universal Studios. Okay, they were, yeah, it was back in the because you started Universal like 90.
Yeah, I was 18. I was 18 years old when I started with Little Champ.
And how many years did you work with them?
Off and on in different stores.
Through
Just a
your
couple of years.
Universal time?
I know when I first started driving truck for either Grantham or Clark Food Service, I made enough money so I didn't have to work in convenience stores. Because convenience stores, even 7-Elevens, all those convenience stores I ever worked, most of them were 24 hours. I'd come in, stock their coolers. I'd come in, I'd do oddball stuff. Sometimes, like Little Champ, I'd close. So I didn't have to do the gas reports and all that. I just do the ending report, and they didn't have the technology they do now. Because opening that store, they still had to come in and turn some stuff on for me because the regular machine
That
stuff.
store being what store? The Little Champ?
No, the I used to call it the store, but on Bay Street. I guess.
Oh, okay. So,
So their technology and me knowing how to work the lottery and
so
stuff.
at the
That's
store
really
where Terry was
good.
murdered, you only ever worked there as a closer.
Yeah, I think I only closed there.
And that was before you worked at Universal Studios.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So you're young. You're really young then.
Yeah. When I was 18,
So you're a former
18,
employee.
21, because when I worked at Hughes Supply, I know I had a part-time job with Cumberland Farms on Claricona. So it was always a side job, something where when I got off work, I knew it wasn't going to affect my kids because they were almost ready to go to bed. So, and they were young, so I was like, hey. So I grew up without a lot of stuff, so it's like.
Was Wanda freaked out when she heard about the?
But she knew about it. It's like, but it's right down the street from where we used to live. She goes, I'm glad we got out of there. I said, me too. But that, like I said, when that happened, I wasn't living in Rosemont no more. I wasn't, or Lockhart. It's the same area to me.
So
But
what
I was living
would
in
have brought
East
you there that day?
Probably seeing my mom, going over to get something, a beer or something, but
In the morning, that early in the morning, would put you?
no. Sometimes I'd go see my mom early in the morning because I know she'd walk from her house from her apartment to work, so I might walk her to work or something. I'm just saying.
So my timeline's a little fuzzy, and I know I have to go back and look. So you moved to Deltona at some point?
Mm-hmm.
And
But
you
my
believe
job-
you were living in Deltona at the time of this murder.
I think so. Yeah.
So you would have come to Lockhart or
But
Rosemont.
it would have been fine, depending on. That's what I said. You could probably look and see where I was.
Yeah, we can
As far as
we
driving.
could look and see when the house was
Because I
sold.
remember I was working because when I first
that's when I knew I had enough money because I knew I had a job with Papa John's because I was already working with Worldwide Dedicated. A buddy of mine was already at Worldwide or at Papa John's. So
you're getting a little off track. You were kind of so you're up in Deltona in '96 maybe. What would have brought you to Lockhart at 5:30 in the morning?
I never worked in Deltona. I always had my driving jobs in Orlando.
And
when I get off of work or before I went to work, sometimes I go see my mom. So I'm thinking
it's early in the morning then.
Yeah, it depends on what time I worked. I mean,
and then you whether you work for Clark or Papa John's, where in Orlando would you pick your truck up in the morning?
Papa John's would be at the turnpike of 441 and the turnpike. Basically,
okay,
that's where the commissary was.
And then where's the other? That was for Papa John's.
That was Papa John's, which is Worldwide. Clark Food Service was.
Where would you pick your truck up?
That's when I first lived in Lockhart, right there off Dr. Love Road and Magnolia.
Yeah. So so you're not sure when this murder happened if you were working for Clark or Papa John's.
I would say it's. I'm thinking it had to be. I was working at Worldwide, so it was right before I went to Papa John's.
Worldwide is the one, Dr. Love?
No, Worldwide was part of UPS. It's their food delivery service. And Worldwide was running Papa John's.
And so Clark's is the one by Dr. Love?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So would you have been working at the Dr. Love yard around 96?
No.
Magnolia Homes?
No, that's when I first got my CDL.
But it's after Universal.
Yeah.
So Universal to...
I think it was Universal, Clark Food Service. Clark Food Service, then Grantham. Then from Grantham, I don't know if I went to Frito-Lay first. No, I went to Papa John's. And then it was Frito-Lay. I did Coke for a little bit before I went to Frito-Lay. So, I'm just trying to think of different jobs. Because, I mean, back then, your credit didn't hurt your credit as long as you stayed in the same profession. That's what everybody told me. And I had good credit.
And you were trying to get your house and everything up in Deltona at that point.
Yeah.
So,
how long you been on Bay Street or wherever you grew up?
I've been here for just a little over 8 years. So
You guys own that house?
She does. Yeah. She wanted to get married. I've been married once. I don't want to. And our age difference is so big.
How old is she older?
Oh yeah, she's 73. Yeah, she's like almost 20 years older than me.
what do you call her?
I call her Teal because
Teal.
because I knew her husband. Her husband and that's how I met her is with her husband. They used to go to my mom's church, so he always introduced me as Teal because Marteal was her middle name, so he used to call her Teal. And I already had a couple friends named Emily, girlfriend, lady friends. So I said, "You mind if I just call you Teal?" She goes, "No, that's how you."
Are you saying Teal like
Teal, Teal.
I gotcha.
Teal. So I always said Teal Edward was actually her real name.
So you would have been there in the mornings around the Little Champ because you were either picking up on your way to work or you were hanging out by your mom's house, seeing her before you went to work. Those are the only two reasons you've been out in the Lockhart area. Okay.
And both my brothers, well, my not the oldest, my middle brother, he lived off of, I want to say Rose Avenue, but on the other end of it from Little Champ, by 436.
Are you?
So I'd seen him at different times.
Did you keep a key to that store after you left?
What store?
The Little Champ.
I never had possession of the key.
I
locked the door, and usually the way it worked is I locked the door because I didn't know if they probably didn't see me for another couple days. So I only worked there a couple days a week.
Okay.
So I would put it either in the bank bag when I made the deposit.
So deposit in the safe in the store or the deposit at the bank?
I deposit because I need the key to lock the door.
Sure. So you're outside the store at that point. The alarm
lock the door, put the key in the thing, so that way the manager already had his own key. And the key would be in the deposit.
Oh, so the deposit thing was on the...
It was with the cash I deposited in the bank.
But I'm confused. How did you lock the door from the outside and then put the key back inside?
No, I had to make a deposit at night. I took their bank bag. They didn't need that much cash. They left the minimum. I don't know. They left a certain amount is that you have to leave in the store, and then you take the other amount, you write it up, and that's what you had to write a deposit. You take it to the bank that was, I don't know, it was about 2 miles away from that store.
Oh, so you
And I never closed the other Wakaiba store. I never closed that one. The only close I did with my mom, because I was only 18, was she closed, but I worked with her. Because at the time, I think the law was you could work behind the register, you could sell beer, but at the time I couldn't buy beer. So she had to be there. You had to have somebody old enough.
So when you close up a Lockhart store, you're done. You do your reports, your bank bag. You lock the door. You throw the key in the bank bag, and you deposit the key and the money at the bank. And then how does the manager get the bank bag and the money?
He get the bank bag next day.
From the bank?
Yeah. He already had his key to get back in the store.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ever get.
And they would reuse that bank bag?
Yeah.
And they just leave a key.
guess, yeah.
They leave a key for you.
When I was closing, they'd have a key there for me, so I could lock up.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I didn't. Yeah, and that was before you worked at Universal.
I would say, yeah.
Okay.
Kenneth, man, we're still stuck on this, man. This is a roadblock we got to get past. Like, I know all of this, and it seems great. Like, you wouldn't keep the key, and you would put it in the deposit bag, and then the manager would get it the next day, and everything in the world was right. But it could be true. But we have to get past what happened on February 3rd, man. We can't turn a blind eye to it. It's not going away, and we have to address the elephant in the room, man. We have to get past this, and we have to. And really, it's just you have to be comfortable enough with us to just be real with us and be honest.
You let me water. You let me have a dip.
Yeah, like
my nerves are
okay.
a lot
and
calmer. But
and nobody here is gonna
it's not something I would. I did.
I know, but we're comfortable. Like we have to get past that, and that's what we're kind of because nobody in here, Dave or I, like I said, man, we've all got demons in our closet, and there's nobody in here that hasn't done something that we didn't, get away with. It's just who's a better liar, and that's really was our goal and our intentions today was just to put you at ease because we're going so far back in the memory bank, and we're going so far back in someone's personal life that it's very intimate. And we recognize the importance of that. And so that's what we wanted to do here. Just put you at ease, man. We didn't want you to think that we're coming at you sideways, that we think that you're this asshole, crazy guy. Like we were coming from a place that we wanted you to go back in your mind in something that you have not visited in years. And just know that we don't care what comes out of your mouth, man. We don't care what you say. We are not going to judge you. Nothing. We're going to treat you the same, man. But we want to revisit this area that you haven't gone back.
If you visit anybody in my past, they tell you I'm just too sensitive. I wear my heart on my sleeve. There's no way I could live with that. Not for that. I couldn't live with something like that. I couldn't live.
But it's different when it's different when it's something so crazy. And because a lot of people have told me that. And when I was young and I was new at this, I believed them. But it's not true. People can live with stuff. You know why? Because at the end of the day, no matter how selfless you think you are, everybody is selfish. Right? At the end of the day, we all have a selfish side. And you can live with something like this. You know why?
I'm selfish.
You know why?
I'd rather have cold beers and
yeah.
I'd usually spend time in my room and watch TV because she has the Addams family living there.
But then that's what I'm just trying to say is everybody can live with this. You know why? Because you haven't got caught. And why the hell would you go? Let me just if you.
I can live myself.
Why the hell would you?
I believe in Jesus and everything.
Yeah.
I know my life is not mine to take. So suicide. But if I had done something that way,
Ken, that's what I keep trying to tell you. You're older now. Yeah. You're more mature. If you thought that you wouldn't have had beers and got on the road because you could think of somebody else's life. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
When I lost my wife, the only thing that kept me from not myself because I knew when I got my DUI and I was already going through a divorce, so I was like, I lost everything for the DUI. But that if I wasn't living at the church, I probably would have did it then.
And that's where that's what I need you to go back, and I need you to go back to that time to where you were at the church, right? And you need to be honest with us, man, because no matter what happened, no matter what we did here on earth, man, so long as we're honest,
honestly, that's something I wanted to do. I didn't do it.
now you wouldn't do it. And that's what I'm trying to say,
I
man.
never hurt nobody.
That's what I'm trying to say. We need to go back 25 years, and where were you at in your life, in your head, back 25 years ago? You know, you just told me a time when you were going through your divorce and you got a DUI, and your mind was, would you not agree that at that time your mind was someplace else? You were borderline suicidal at that point, right? Right? You just
divorced?
Yeah, right. You were suicidal. Are you suicidal now? Have you been in a long time? Because you're in a different place. You're older, you're more mature. So, but when you got divorced from Wanda and you got your DUI, you were thinking all kinds of crazy things. I'm sure at one point you thought about killing her too, because she's your ex-wife. I say that kind of sarcastically and funny because I've been through a divorce myself.
Because
But what I'm,
okay. They luckily they proved that it wasn't domestic. They got it.
yeah.
And I didn't want to take my daughter into it because I was going to fight it. I was like, no, the hell with her. I was going to fight it. And they said you pay whatever $200 for it costs,
Yeah.
and take a disorderly conduct. So I'll take that. I said I'm not going to bring because my wife. I know my daughter would have had to get on the stand and say what truly happened. And I don't want to, at 12, 13 years old, I don't want her to go through it. So
I think I remember that domestic violence paperwork that one of our analysts found. And Wanda was up in Deltona, but you were living on Cinder Lane at the time, I think. Because I think there was some handwritten note on there because you obviously weren't living together at that point.
At domestic content.
You were
When I got charged for that, when I got arrested, we were living together. Yeah.
And you stayed living there the whole time?
No, when I moved out of there, I started living at the church, which was in McCoy.
Okay.
Because I didn't have my license, so I just stayed there. I could take the bus back and forth to.
Could have sworn there was some paperwork where the Cinder Lane address was written on something.
Yeah,
That's where I know that's where my ex was told to take my belongings.
Oh.
That's where drop off the stuff.
Well, who was over there in Cinder Lane? My
mom.
Your
My
mom.
mom and my stepdad.
Oh, they lived in one of the apartments over there too?
They lived in Monterey Apartments. I think that's the name. They changed names over there so many times.
When you're coming off
And
OBT.
I used to live it used to be the Glen Apartments. That's where we lived. And then we moved to Deltona.
You ever work for a cable company?
No, so,
Like you never did like home installs or like Time Warner Cable or anything?
yeah.
You ever frequent Hanks? You ever go to Hanks bar?
Been there once.
Been there once with who?
I don't know who it was. I've been there. I think once. If it wasn't, I never liked going to bars because to me everybody wants to start fighting. It's like the Disney thing.
Yeah.
And it was a buddy of mine that got me in there free because his wife was a manager and I've never been. I was like, oh, it'd be cool for me and my wife to come and go to Pleasure Island. And so.
Hanks is a gay bar.
No. You talking about the highway?
No, Hanks.
Oh, okay. I delivered the AZB right across the street from Maryland Fried Chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can look back in the
Did
day.
you know anybody from there? Like who you dealt with when you delivered beer there or whatever? So that's kind of where we're at, man. We have to go back, and we have to go back 25 years. And I know you keep saying it and saying, I would never do this. I wear my heart on my sleeve. But there was a time in your life, obviously, we just talked about that things weren't always great. Things were bad. Mentally, things were bad.
That way.
Right.
That's all I mean. Since
What do you mean you grew up that way?
My dad left us. Me and my two brothers took my sister with them, emptied the bank accounts. Always been poor.
So you grew up in a single mom.
So once I was when she got pregnant in high school, and we were both 17, I dedicated my life to hey, my kids ain't gonna grow up.
Let's talk about how you grew up. You grew up with your mom, right?
My mom.
And your two brothers.
Two brothers.
And where was the family home at?
Rose Avenue.
Rose Avenue. Did she have a new husband? Did she?
No, she never got. Yeah, she got married to my stepdad, Charlie.
Were you ever abused? Any kind of way?
No.
Never.
My brother said my dad did him, and my sister said my dad abused her.
Did your dad ever abuse you that you were willing to talk with me about?
No, I never got abused.
You've never experienced that.
My other brother Keith said he had some things with him. But
what does Keith do?
He's driving truck again.
And he
got in a bad
Cocoa?
accident, so he was out of it for a while. But I'm sorry.
Does Keith live in Cocoa?
No, Kent lives in Cocoa. Keith lives in, I'm going to say South Carolina.
Okay. What's Ken do?
Kent is on disability, but he does some cleaning up there.
What's he on disability from? Like, what was his job growing up? Or?
He was in the Marines, and I guess his disability basically was more mental.
Okay.
It's
PTSD
like
stuff?
I don't know if it was that or he just could. He's always to say it's stressing me out. He's stressing me out. So he.
Maybe some anxiety.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Him and his wife are both living there together.
Are you close with those guys?
Oh yeah, I talk to Kent all the time. Keith, me and him, because of my mom's will and everything. I think him and his wife had something to do with it, to where he got the majority of it. So I said it didn't make no sense. He just moved in a house in South Carolina, or whatever, and all of a sudden he's getting his car fixed. He's got furniture in his house. He's got all this stuff, but yet he's on workman's comp right now. And that was right when my mom passed away, and I was the only one. I had to be the one to pull the plug on my mom, because she promised me, Kenny, don't ever let them put me back in the nursing home, because she was just in the nursing home prior to her thing. She was in the nursing home for about 3 weeks because she had heart surgery. So then she moved in with me and Emily, and so basically that was it. My stepdad, he passed away before. Me and my mom ended up getting our own place when I was going through my divorce and everything. Me and my mom got our own place off of Rose Avenue, and we were just like a lease option to buy. That was when I started working at Walmart. So, and then we got that house because my stepdad passed away, and I wanted to get her out of Rosemont.
You and your stepdad get along?
Oh yeah. He was just lazy. He didn't want to work. He's this real heavy set guy, and he put my mom through a lot. He didn't want her to work no more, and she could. I mean, like I said, she just walked right across the street to work. So It wasn't safe, but it was something affordable for them.
Kenny, how stressful has this last 2 hours been?
If you want to give me a dip, I would freaking crawl off.
Yeah.
But
it's been stressful, man, right? And what you have to understand.
It ain't gonna get no better, I know.
Yeah. And so you know what the best thing to do is just rid yourself of this bullshit, of this thing that's been lingering over your head for 25 years. And you know what? It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
You say it's bullshit. It is bullshit, but I know I didn't commit no crime like this.
What do you?
My biggest crime that freaking probably ruined my life was DUI. That's my biggest regret in my whole life. It took me away from my kids and everything. That wrecked me.
You think you and Wanda would still be together if it weren't for your DUI?
We already gone through divorce. And that's why the only reason I got the DUI, because I had a dog in the car, and he freaking got out of his box, and he was a little chihuahua, and I moved him, and I swerved, and the cop got me, and I was literally living in my semi, because I was like, I don't know how the divorce is going to go, so I'm like, I don't want to start buying something, and I was like, okay, I can't pay rent, I got to move. So when I got my DUI, I just did a settlement with her, say, hey, I don't want nothing to do with you, you don't want nothing to do with me, so we're just going to split the 401k, your bills is yours, mine is mine. And I'm not going to pay child support until my daughter's 18, so she can tell the truth. So
memory's a funny thing, man. And as I hear you and Brian talking, you were able to recall facts very vividly.
Yeah.
About some things. And some things, especially when we get around the Terry's murder, they get a little fuzzy.
I know, but I mean, that would have been really dramatic for me, to where I would have definitely remembered that.
The way memory, there's these things called flashbulb memories. Like, you remember where we were on 9/11?
Yeah, driving truck.
How'd you hear about 9/11?
I was driving a truck, and I stopped at Pilot to fill up, and it was all over the news.
Where were you? What part of town?
Heading to Miami, so I would say probably Fort Pierce.
You're on what road were you on?
95.
And who were you working for?
I want to say TLC, but the only thing I knew back then I was hauling plants.
Okay. So
I delivering plants.
You remember what you had for lunch last Wednesday?
No.
Right. See how memory works.
But that's something that ain't gonna leave.
That's a fun.
That's when.
Right. So either you don't remember.
You don't forget that. That's
so maybe you said you blacked out before. Maybe there's some kind of weird thing that
overnight. I mean that you can. That's something that I want.
I mean, you used to work there. You knew Terry. Brian said maybe you blacked out. You told me you said you blacked out before, but not Like, what do you mean you blacked out before?
Wake up and, damn, what did I do last night? You know?
Because of alcohol? Or because...
Yeah, alcohol's always my demon.
And then, so it's not really... You didn't black out about this. You would have remembered this. You're pretty confident.
Yeah.
100% confident you remember if you did this? Yeah?
Kenny, you didn't forget this.
This
This is something you had.
You want to forget. I want to.
No, I know you. You're right. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm pretty confident you haven't forgot this, and it shows, man. It shows all over you, man. And I feel horrible that you find yourself in this position because I couldn't imagine being in that seat. And I actually do have a lot of compassion for you right now because it's horrible. It's horrible the position you find yourself in. Because this is something, and I'm just saying this because I know this is something that has with you for a long time. This is something. No, you don't have to answer this question. This is something that has really with you, man, your whole life. And although you don't visit it all the time, it comes back from time to time. It comes back, and I know you're sorry. You may never tell me. You may never say it, but I can see it on your face that you are regretful, and you live with this all the time. And it had a huge significance on you that you had to walk around, and you had to live with this and work. And now you have Teal in your life that I'm sure you love to death, that you've been with a long time, right? And probably the only thing that you don't like about that is our kids living there with you. But this is something that you revisit from time to time. And now you find yourself here, and you're like, how the f*** do I talk about this?
This is a shock to me right now.
It's a shock that we're here because after so long, it just
talking
goes
about
back.
something like that. I didn't do it. Okay. Yeah. And like I told you, if you might think differently, but if I had done something like this, and I know that what probably is going to happen when I'm going to jail, I got to explain. I want to put her through none of this. I want to put nobody. I want to put nobody in my family through
You've
something.
been a man your whole life, at some point you just have to face the man and say, you know what, I f***ed up back then, but I'm not the same guy.
And I know you say, oh, you wouldn't say nothing but I didn't do it. I know.
But you know, I mean, this is not stealing a candidate.
Oh yeah, I understand.
This is not stealing a candidate. This is something big.
Oh, trust.
And so I think what's happening right now is I think you want to tell me what happened. You want to rid yourself of this.
Yeah.
But you're thinking you have two sides, right? You have two sides of your head working, right? You want to tell me what happened because you feel bad and horrible. You've been living with this your whole life. But then you have the other part of it. And it's like, man, there's some kind of hope. What if I just tell him this and then eventually maybe something will happen and I'll get exonerated and then it's not me, but it's not. It's you.
I don't.
And then you're like, what is my family going to think about me? My son already doesn't talk to me. Obviously Wanda doesn't probably think the best of you, and Amanda is on the fence. And now you're thinking, well, man, did I just prove them all right? Me, like, you find yourself in this awkward spot, man.
There's nothing I have to prove to anybody. They know what kind of father I was. She knows what a good husband I was. She just wanted more out of me. I was like, I didn't have nothing else to give her. So so that part of my life, I didn't have no control of that. That was something that she told. What she lied. She lied about that stuff. My daughter even said, yeah, my mom told me to lie. She told me that. Okay.
Do you think you're going to be? So some magic piece of evidence that's going to come, and some alibi is going to come.
There's something going to. Something's that. I mean,
so
my religion right now, I'm believing. Hey, God knows I didn't do this. God knows I didn't do this, and
you think there's going to be some miracle that's going to come back and say it's not your. You know what? It's not Kenneth. It's there's just all a big
there's got to be
mistake.
There's something that
you really
got transferred in that store. There's something. No, I can't explain what you guys say and what you got proof of. This is a shock to me. This is a freaking
Is it a shock because after 25 years you're finally
I just didn't know that happened to him. I didn't know that happened.
Well, Terry, that's fine.
But I didn't know that had
you
happened.
Terry.
And then you guys telling me that you know,
Yeah.
I'm your number one.
Just say his name. Just say Terry.
Terry.
Listen.
You know what's happened to Terry.
This is.
I know.
Come on, man. Listen, we gotta put this to bed, man. You cannot let Teal go through this. You cannot let Amanda go through this. She's already like. This is what I'm saying because of that.
If I did something like that, I didn't murder nobody. I never hurt nobody like that. No, I would just, it's not something I would do. Is no matter
today.
But back
It's
then,
not
I don't
something
care.
you would do today. Because
I
31-year-old
hear you saying.
Kenneth Stowe is different than 54-year-old Kenneth
And-
Stowe.
You know, I've always had the same work ethics. That's why I always worked 2 jobs. That's why.
And nobody called you lazy.
No, I'm just.
I've seen it.
I want
Accused me
it
of that.
done for money. Being gay or not, I didn't have no personal thing with anybody like that. To where.
Any gay guys ever come on to you?
No, like I said, I had
Yeah.
friends, and and I explained to them once I knew you're gay. Okay, I'm heterosexual. I'm married at the time. I was like,
You never experienced anything with a guy?
never.
Sexual,
No.
anything?
Even Jordan Carson, he wanted to get with me when we'd be driving
Yeah.
on the road.
So he did.
But he knew I was married. I was like,
What
you keep that.
was going on at the Roadway Inn about 2 months ago? In September, you went and stayed at the Roadway Inn.
Think you would have cashed a lottery ticket in maybe if an ounce
You,
on
you hit a ticket. How much you hit?
10,000.
10 grand.
Yeah.
On which one?
I don't know. It was like a 200X or something like that.
No. Okay, so you go cash your ticket in, you get it out at the Roadway. Steele go with you?
Because I didn't want to drive home because it was raining. And no, she didn't go with me. I was
You
trying.
stayed at the Roadway.
I kept trying to call my daughter and say, "Listen,
Who visited you at the Roadway Inn?
nobody."
Sure.
Awesome.
You stop at another hotel first, and they were at the up off County Line Road, I think, and then you went over the roadway after that.
Are you sure nobody visited you in the Roadway?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. I had my hungry hours. I was trying to get a hold of my daughter and say, "Hey, listen, I'm in town." Or I know she's still living in Delta in Orange City.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to get hold of my daughter and say, "Hey, I'm in town. You want to come and visit me?" But I was like, "I'm not driving."
But at night, nobody came and visited you?
Nobody visited me.
See, that's the thing, man. And there's some things that you don't want to remember, and there's some things that you remember. And we know you remember this. It's written all over your face, man. Anybody that can see you here and
I
live
didn't
this.
visit nobody though. There's nobody.
I'm talking about visit this incident with
at the roadway.
no with Terry.
Oh.
This is almost like going into your childhood home after you haven't been there so long, and all these memories just keep coming back, right?
I know, but
And that's
everybody knew me over there. I mean, there'd have to be 1,000 witnesses saying you were in that store. And I know that.
But that's the thing, and I'm not even gonna bullshit. There's no witnesses to this,
Well, I mean, you.
right? So there's nobody saying
a lot of
that.
people knew me. I grew up there since I was
Right, but there's
1 year old.
There's nobody saying Kenneth left the store with a bloody knife.
The only thing
And,
that
dude,
we were
we
there
have-
and I worked there.
We have
That's the only
floated
thing.
almost every possibility. We've even asked you if you discovered him, you checked his vitals, and there was a transfer. We asked you if this was a self-defense case. But now, and I hate to say this, but now maybe you did premeditate this. Maybe you were staking him out from across the street, and you knew he opened, and you knew so maybe this does go into premeditation, and that's what I didn't know. And so maybe by you not telling us anything, you're telling us the whole story. You knew he worked there. You knew the opening routine. You knew.
But I just told you,
knew him,
I've never opened
And so
the
you
store.
took advantage that you once worked
Back
there and
there,
knew the layout of the
naive.
store.
All I
So-
knew, they had camera.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. So maybe this does, instead of this just being something that was, maybe this is a premeditated thing. Maybe this is something that you thought about for some time. Maybe, and that's what I'm trying to say. We didn't think you were this crazy guy, but maybe you are. Maybe you have all of us fooled. Maybe that's what it is. Is it?
No.
Or is this something that just, something went bad, something went south, you took advantage of a good situation because of the situation you found yourself in 25 years ago? You see the difference, bro? There's two differences.
I understand what you have and what you're saying to me, but I didn't do it. I know for a fact that I didn't do it.
So what does it mean there's a camera in the store? What do you mean?
All the stores had a trip camera.
Mm-hmm. How, you know what that was in? It doesn't look like a little speaker or something, right?
It was, it had two of them. One, and it had speaker. And I know you activated it by removing money.
From the cash register, right?
Or there used to be a box in the safe.
So if a person saw money in the cash register, because it looks like a bundle of money, the trap.
Yeah, what was it?
So when you pull that,
Pull a dollar, you pull bills out, certain bills, it would trigger.
so you know when you close the store at night, you leave the trap money in. You put all the other money in the safe or take it to the bank or whatever.
Yeah.
But you left that trap money in the camera and left the cash doors open.
Yeah, a lot of times you leave your opening money, like a couple 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s, and change. You count your door down to whatever the store was at the time. It was like $200.
Right.
You would have available to you first thing in the morning.
So if somebody came in, broke in the store overnight, they would presumably they would hope that they would take that bait money out, and then the camera would go off and it would catch them.
Or if somebody comes in and robs you,
Right.
you pull
But
that
what if
bill.
that bait money's still there?
That means probably whoever took the money out of the store must have known to not pull that bait money out of the. It must have been somebody who worked there before. Because if I'm stealing the money from the store, why would I leave the bait money behind? Because I knew that was going to trigger a camera.
Was the register there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the money in?
It sure.
No, with the bait
With
money.
the bait money.
Oh.
Because you work in that line of work, man.
But he would have to count. Anybody open the store still have to check.
What's good house? You work in that line of work, man. See, we're not being.
I know, but it.
You know,
Just
like,
because I did that line of work,
I
it's
know,
like the other detective saying, "Oh, you were in
but
Missouri."
here's- Yeah.
And I was like, everybody's like, "I can't believe you came in DNA." I said, "I wasn't worried
But
about
you didn't
getting my
give it to them.
DNA."
They had some.
But they asked me before,
They had some.
"Can you give us your DNA?" I said, "Sure." I didn't have nothing to hide.
Because you weren't ever. Yeah.
You weren't in Missouri, but you were in the Little Champ February 3rd.
I know, but I don't know if it would ever come back to me. I mean, I didn't think. I mean, I know how DNA works. I know. You guys.
Come on, man.
You guys are convinced that this happened.
I'm not. It's
know
not that I'm convinced. It's that you have not convinced me that you didn't do this.
I didn't do it. I don't know what to do. Honestly,
You just gotta let God sort it out.
Yeah. What happens?
I don't know.
What do you tell
I don't
Teal?
know.
Are you gonna tell them to get credit cards, max them out, so you can give me a great attorney and put them in financial
I've never
constraints?
been in a position this way.
But it's always the same. That's what I'm trying to tell you is I have been on this side of it. And I have talked to people that are on your side of it that are conflicted and don't know what to do. And
I have enough love in my heart for everybody that I know, even my ex. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to put nobody that I love.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think you hated Terry.
I
Even though,
didn't know him to hate him.
yeah, but I think it was just a position that somebody found themselves in. And it was a glimpse of, it was a minute of their life.
Yeah.
But that minute
I
of their
can
life
say
doesn't
that
define
right.
them, right? You were able to go on and you had a good life and you worked your ass off. Let's be real, right? I think we could all agree that
I'm a
Kenneth
hard
still is a hard working guy. Worked his ass off.
But I would never hurt nobody.
I think the only thing that, because I've watched you for some time, you like to play scratch offs.
Yeah.
And you enjoy
That's my downfall.
a Budweiser.
Yeah,
And you know who enjoys the same life? Me. Ain't nobody like a scratch off and a beer more than me. Probably maybe you. But I enjoy a scratch off. But I would prefer the Coors Light. Right. So that's what I'm trying to say is even though we're on different sides of the table, everybody here, we're all human, and we all have done in our life, and we all have in our head, and we all have parts of our life that we would like to forget about, myself included. There's that I've done in my life that I wish I didn't do. There are people that I've wronged that I wish I didn't wrong. That's just being human, right? And so that's what I'm trying to get you at. I'm trying to get you to that point in your life to where you're like, man, because I promise you,
Well, you can't
when you
get
come
me.
off of it,
You won't be able to get me to somewhere. There's no way I could do that. There's nothing. I mean, anything
There
that's
is.
been said.
but only you can tell us why. So maybe is it possible that you and Wanda in '96 when was Amanda born?
She was born. She was already born. She
Okay.
was born in '90.
So were you
she was
starting your
91.
divorce in '96? February of '96, just coming off the holidays
Oh,
from '95.
No, we didn't start a divorce until I want to say 2016.
Okay. So in '96 was she good?
96. it depends on where I was working at the time, but it's like,
It goes up and down with marriages, right? Sometimes things are good, and sometimes things aren't.
oh, she was my high school sweetheart.
Right.
She was and then I had two great kids. That's the one reason we waited, because I'm like, I don't want government help.
Right.
So
But I
that's
guess
why my kids are so far apart. They're like 5, 6 years
But in
apart.
'96, was things good or bad?
They were good. They were actually looking up for me, because I think that's when I started Papa John's. I knew I had a good job. I knew I had a good, clean license. The only reason I went.
Let me ask you, I gotta go back into the memory bank with Wanda. You and Wanda, were you guys, through your marriage, sex always good
Oh, yeah.
with her?
Yeah.
Consistent?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she used it like I think most wives do, as far as leverage.
Yep. Well, that's
Earn your
just,
brownie points.
yep, that's human nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so that's, we need to go back to this, man, and we keep circling back to this, and it's so weird to me just sitting here talking to you for the 2 hours that I have been. You're very comfortable talking about everything else, but this brings so much discomfort to you.
Because I didn't do it, and just like when they were talking to me, I know
I think
discomfort.
I think it's deeper than that.
No, I just nothing I can't convince you. There's nothing I can say that I did not do that.
Well,
there's no just
Go back to the blood behind the counter.
trying to wrap my head around all this right now.
Just
Give
me an explanation. Give me the same explanation you give to your family, to a jury, let's say.
The only way I could say is because I delivered there and I worked there, and that's.
And you would have.
I don't know.
Or you're right-handed. Terry's stabbing in the left side of his body. You're sweating profusely. Your hand slips. You get cut. You're like, you might as well take the money and get the hell out of there, man.
Couldn't kill nobody.
Everybody could kill somebody. If I had a gun to you right now, if I had a gun pointed to you and you had a gun, could you kill me to live? Anybody can kill anybody.
Yeah, you go to that scenario.
Anybody can kill anybody. We're all human.
Protect my family or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in some sort of twisted way,
Self-defense.
this could be a situation where you stumble across $4,000 behind the counter, and you're like, it's gonna be a life-changing
Not
thing.
for somebody's life. It's no.
And you don't respect him, or you think he's he's gonna rat you out. So you got a classic just eliminate the witness. I mean, maybe it's just that simple. Maybe it's not premeditated. Maybe it was a spontaneous decision that was just too enticing to pass up.
And money's so relative, man, right? What if you won $10,000 back in '96? It's totally different than winning $10,000 today, right? You can piss away $10,000 right now and hardly get anything for it. Back in '96, you might have been a down payment on a home or something, right? Things were different. So money was different back then.
Right,
But I never really cared. I never cared about money. I worked hard just so I made sure my kids had.
So maybe it's so spontaneous.Maybe it's just Terry's like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom. Can you keep an eye on this? And it just is a spontaneous. Maybe that's it.
Or here's the other thing. I mean, I hate to say this, and I'm not being funny. Maybe the damn guy offered you a blowjob or something, and you're getting something from him in the bathroom, and you're like, no.
I didn't. Just trying to recall him, but I never knew there was somebody working their game. Really didn't.
No,
it wouldn't matter anyway. So
I know, but I'm just saying, man. I hate to bring up these personal scenarios, but you got to go there.
I know.
You got to go there. You got to visit it. Is that possible that you guys doing something in the bathroom and you're like, you know what, man, I'm not gay, and this guy is now, here you are, married with 2 kids, and you find yourself in this position, and you're just like, and is that possible?
No. I couldn't kill nobody. With different scenarios, yeah, but it's not something that if I could walk away from any
What about being gay? Could
advancement.
you be gay?
No.
Ever?
No. I just.
I'm not being.
I couldn't kiss a guy. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean.
You watch porns?
Yeah.
You ever watch gay porn?
No.
Ever?
No. That's. I just think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I got a friend that. Her dad is a major contractor of ours, probably the biggest contractor we have. She's lesbian. She got married. I don't care. She's still attractive. You're still beautiful.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
But it's kind of, talking about these issues now in 2021, almost 2022, is substantially different than 96. And that's why I keep going back, because you have to put yourself in that time frame 25 years ago, not in today's standards. And so if you were doing something with a dude, and you're married and you have 2 kids, Kenneth, I want you to know, we don't give a shit.
I'm just saying.
And we're not looking at you any differently.
I couldn't be gay. It is not something.
Why?
Because I'm heterosexual. I love.
Have been all your life?
All my life. I've never been with a guy.
Okay.
I just.
So then, did this just happen because maybe you saw that he was closing and you knew that closing money was going to be there?
I don't know how.
Because Dave brings up a good point. You don't take the bait money because you knew those cameras.
I don't know how that happened.
Right?
Who would leave bait money behind? But is it reasonable to think that somebody who knew what the bait money did, activate a camera, would leave it behind?
Like I said, you know how many people work in and out of the stores?
Right.
They might have said, hey,
including yourself.
They don't know me over here.
Including you.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was somewhere else, or somebody was somewhere else and nobody's going to recognize them, I mean, I couldn't kill nobody, but I mean, I'm just thinking, so there's other people that work in the stores that you're iffy, and they always get stopped. They always got caught for stealing money or stealing stuff out of the store. So I just didn't.
So
I want to do that.
we've been talking for about an hour, a little bit longer.
It's like a long time.
Yeah, we have gotten no further than we have when we started this. We cannot explain it.
Okay.
We cannot explain it. So what do we do? What do we do, man? And we just need to get. And I think you really need to do some self-reflection, and you really need. And I know it's hard
I'm
to
trying to tell you everything I can remember.
So there you go again. Try. You say you're trying. Just tell us. Don't try to tell us. Just tell us.
I didn't do that though. I don't know what else to say, but I mean.
I wish I would have told you
have
about this
your-
a week ago, and then you could have thought this through and really thought what was the best for you today, and say, I just want to come complain and be honest with you. But we can't do that because so now you've only got this span of a couple hours to make up a decision that could affect the rest of your life. And it's very important. And there's a lot of people that if they were sitting in that chair would do it over again, because like I said, anybody, right, can look at this and say, man, I know it's murder, but I can wrap my head around this person that was honest, sincere, apologetic, remorseful. Anybody can. They can look at these pictures of Terry and say, yeah, that's gruesome. But had I been in that same situation that person found themselves in, I don't know what I would have done. But, man, look at this guy. This guy's been a hard-working guy his whole life. Although he's had a couple of jobs, he's never been without a job very long, works his ass off. He was honest. I respect that. They may not agree with what happened. They may not have done and made the same choices you did, but they can look back and they can say, that's a solid guy. He's a human. He's not a monster that came from a place where he thought about doing this since he was a kid. It's a guy that made a split-second decision, and that minute of his life should not reflect his whole life, because you are a hard-working guy. You've lived a good life. But what people don't like is they're like, come on, man. They just want to shake you, and they want to say, dude, I'm not going to. It's a figure of speech. Come on, man. Just be honest, because,
I couldn't do it.
Dude, living with this. I know you couldn't. I know you keep saying that.
I didn't do it. I'm trying. I know what evidence you're telling me you have. It's not something I could do. I could never.
Today. We have to go back 25 years.
25 years ago.
We have to go back 25 years.
I know. If I was
could you kill yourself right now?
No.
You couldn't. But you could have when you were going through a divorce. And you could have when you got your DUI.
Well,
you see how things change?
Because there's certain things that I did with my...
Sure.
Then.
But you couldn't kill yourself. Like, so say this never happened, right? You got a gun? You have a gun?
No.
Does Teal?
No.
If Teal told you, regardless of what happened today, she told, you came home from work today, she said, babe, I want to go get a gun, man. And then she goes and gets a gun. Gun sit there, would you kill yourself?
No.
Exactly. 2016, whenever you got your DUI going through with wanted, you could have. Because the set of circumstances were different, and our minds are a funny thing. where your back's up against the wall and you're confronted with different things in your life, you could do different things at that time that you wouldn't do at a different point in your life. It's just the fact of it, man. So you keep saying I couldn't do this. You couldn't do this now because you got your in order.
I didn't do it. I'm just telling you, there's nothing else. I mean, you can put all the scenarios, you can tell me what you have, but I didn't do it.
Okay, let's say you didn't do it. Let's just take Terry's dead body and the missing money out of the equation. You've got. Just tell us how that got there. And not with I worked there 3 years before.
I worked there, I delivered there. I mean, that's the only thing I can
That's the
do.
only thing.
I was a customer there, so. I don't know.
Did you and Terry?
I didn't even know his name was Terry. He looked familiar when you showed me the first time you showed me the picture. But I've been in a lot of convenience stores. You don't really pay attention to all the people. Little chit chat over the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, try this ticket. Try this ticket. And I scratch the ticket. Oh, I won. Oh, good job. Grab my stuff and I do it. If I walk to the store, I walk back.
Yeah.
Walk to and from the store from your apartment.
Yeah. But a lot of times, 7-Elevens was closer. I usually go to 7-Eleven because they're open 24/7. So I went to 7-Eleven probably more than Circle K across the street or Little Champ.
So you rode your bike before up to Apopka back, but you would just walk to the convenience stores and you lived over
Yeah,
there?
that's right.
So you did not live in Deltona. You told us earlier that you lived in Deltona at the time of the murder. Now you're saying that
No, look at my work record.
you would walk, but at some point you would walk to that store.
But I worked at Worldwide Dedicated. I think that was the job I was working for at the time. I know for a fact I was living in Deltona when that happened because I was in Deltona and she said, that's the store down the street from us. And that's what my mom said. She goes, that was a Little Champ, blah, blah, blah. And then just from people I know there, they said, oh, the guy got shot, blah, blah, blah. They got robbed. And I remember the tape being out there for a long time. So I used to go by there all the time because my mom lived there.
And you were, but you were up in Deltona at the time.
Yeah, but
Are you sure, or do you think you might have lived at the apartments?
At that time, I'm positive I was living in Deltona.
So you see the tape there all the time. You said, so you remember this?
Yeah.
You ever said, hey man, what happened? I used to work there. Can I help you guys? I used to work at that store, man. Who was murdered there? I know
went
people.
to I think that was a Little Champ. I went there and I said, you know anything about what happened? Because there was nobody there. When I came back to that store after tape went down, I don't even know if it was a Little Champ though, or it was a.
Did you know a black male that worked at that Little Champ? The one where Terry got killed?
Not offhand. I don't think I had any black employees there. I remember a white lady. They worked the night shift usually, and that's usually who I see.
Well, Fred used to work the night shift. There's a
Grab my computer.
Yeah, no,
Get it back.
yeah. Fred used to work.
Please, some water.
Yeah, Fred used to work. He was a black gentleman, nice guy in school. Remember him?
Oh, no. I don't.
But you remember? Tell me what you remember about the lady. Since you're the bigger lady.
She was a little bit older than me then.
Yeah.
Because I've seen her more. And the confrontation one night that some guy was messing with her.
Mm-hmm.
I got him to get out of the store. He kept following me around the store.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to fight. And I was like, no, just leave her alone, man. Get out of the store because she's calling the police. And he's like, he finally left. She goes, I appreciate that. He's mad. I guess he was trying to mess with her. You know, it's like, hey, go out, blah, blah, blah. So I couldn't, you show me a picture of her, I wouldn't remember really. Unless he's told me.
Who she was?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. But I remember, I don't know, next time I seen her husband was in the store and said, oh, I appreciate you, you know.
The lady's husband was in the store.
Yeah, he's like, I appreciate you doing that for her.
Didn't most people that worked in those convenience stores, did they have other jobs and this was kind of like a side hustle?
Some of them did, yeah. Like my mom, that was her main income.
What your mom do full time?
That was her main job
Oh,
at the time, yeah, because she was a waitress at Sambo's. Sambo's closed down. So we didn't have a car because my dad left, but we didn't have a car, so when they opened that convenience store in the Little Champ,
So she worked at Sambo's and then she would supplement with Little Champ.
No, when she lost her job at Sambo's, because they closed down, she got a job at Little Champ.
Gotcha, okay.
And she applied for a job, and the guy manager there, he got her a job as assistant manager there. And like I said, I didn't go to any other stores at that time because I wasn't allowed to close because of my age. Because I could sell beer as long as somebody else was in the store. I think that law was over 21.
Gotcha.
So I basically stocked the shelves for my mom. She ran.
You worked there before this happened and didn't work there after.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure. But the only timeline I could really remember the last time I worked for the Little Champ
Kenneth, we gotta go back to that day, man.
would have been the Universal time of my years. And like I said, if I pulled my
Here you go.
thank you.
I know we're talking about these timelines and stuff. I have a lot of this stuff on my computer. So just give me a second. Just crank that while you guys are talking.
So we gotta go back to your me, man. What do you think? What do you think?
I think I'm in a world trouble. No, I didn't do it though. I'm just telling you honestly. I mean, you guys have been straight up with me and trying to, but I didn't do it.
But how do we say you didn't? But how do we say that? Like, I would love to take your word for this, and there be something other than your word.
If I could say there was anything, it's just something. I know I didn't do it. I know I did not kill anybody for no reason. I couldn't.
Well, there's always a reason. I mean, whether it's a good reason or not is debatable. That's up to the person that did it.
I want to kill nobody.
You know, like if I have a gun pointed at you and you kill me, you have a good reason for killing me, right? If somebody stole a whole bunch of money from you and you might have a good reason.
Scenario, I mean, as far as
but I'm saying even this can be explained. Even this, the reason you may give me, I may say, hey, that's not a good reason, but it might have been a good reason at that time for it to happen. You know, like there's reasons are debatable. I mean, that's up to nobody to say if it's a good reason or not. You know, that's neither here nor there. But we have to before you give us a reason why you did this, we have to get past the fact that you did. We can't just say that the reason.
I didn't do it.
I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. This is in 1996, February 2nd. These are the employees that were good. We're looking at the document titled It's titled 2644-001 in the file. Little Champ paperwork. Little Champ employees. So here we go. There's Mary. I don't know if none of these names look familiar to you. Emma, Fred, Rick, Nanette, Esther,
I don't know if I remember now.
Rhett,
It's a long time ago.
Gary.
The only reason I remember Bill is because he's the only manager I came in really contact with was Bill because he worked with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a car. Sometimes I'd take him home.
See, so we're getting through here, and there's no.
There's no Kenneth.
Kenneth.
I don't know what the year was.
This is 96. These are I don't know how far.
I have to tell him when you were gone. I was like 96. I don't believe I was in 96. The only convenience store I probably worked at was Circle K behind Universal Studios.
This goes back to 95.
So when I left there because my daughter was.
What Dave's trying to say is so it's not like you were working there and you cut yourself the day before. That didn't happen.
Okay.
Right? That's what I think. That's what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, it's going back to 90. It shows terminated employees back to 1995.
Okay, but
so you were there.
Okay.
If you were here in 95, you would be on this list.
I'm trying to, but I'm just trying to think of the timeline. Honestly, I'm just trying to let you know. In 96, I got to see where I was working at Grantham Distributors. Because Grantham Distributors, I I could have got in there because of because I made deliveries.
So,
But still making a delivery, you would unlock the door and then and still Terry's keys wouldn't be missing. Yeah. See, so
I wanted to make delivery.
You couldn't have made the delivery because the door was locked. Same reason why the armored truck guys were there to pick up the delivery.
I know, but
they couldn't get in because the damn door was locked. So if you were the delivery guy that day, you couldn't have gotten in because the door was locked.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and you would have made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
one
door
reason.
was
The only time I would have been in there, besides working there, would have made a delivery there.
Right, but because when this is a lot of force.
The only time I ever cut myself was on both hands, is pulling a band when I was working for Worldwide Dedicated.
Inadvertently. You see where all these injuries are?
I see that.
It's consistent with somebody that is right-handed, and I'm by no means an expert. I don't want you to think that, but it's just common sense, right? Because if you stab me right here, you're right-handed. They're probably going to be right here, all right here, right-handed person, right? I'm a public school kid, man. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert, but a lot of stuff in detecting is just common sense. Right, so this happens, and your blood gets in all these different places when you inadvertently cut yourself, and you don't know, because if you knew, you know what you would have done? You would have cleaned this up, and then we wouldn't be here. But this, you didn't know, and you're freaking out, and it shows movement throughout the scene.
That's not the knife there?
No, this is the door to the beverage cooler.
Oh.
Right, and so that's what I'm saying, is you didn't know you cut yourself. You ever cut yourself shaving or something? Like, I'm bald, so I cut myself shaving all the time. And then all of a sudden I look down, like, gosh, I got blood on my shirt, because you don't know where you nick yourself. Or you cut yourself.
I got to wear gloves. I'm the only one who wears gloves at work all the time.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know
I got 2 cents.
Sometimes you don't know you cut yourself until you see blood, right, on like a shirt or something. That's the same thing here, buddy. Is you cut yourself and you didn't know you did this, because like I said, you would have washed it up, right? But the problem is you really can't see that. It's right here. But in the heat of the moment, when you just got done doing this,
I know, we're going to go back to this.
I know we have to, man, because we have to address the elephant in the room, right? And then back here, man, it's not. But what I want you to understand, and I want you to picture.
That's why I can't. I'm trying to wrap my head around all this. Really,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. It's unexplainable. I can't explain it. Right
You ever
now.
cut your? Do you cook?
I used to cook at Perkins. I mean, I cook
You ever
at
cut yourself?
home.
You cut yourself, right?
Yeah, cutting onions. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
When you use a knife, the chances of you getting cut go up because you have the knife and you cut yourself. And sometimes, right? So it's the same thing here.
I cut myself all the time.
It's the same thing here, man. You use a knife and you get cut, you don't know, and then you move throughout the store and you do whatever you do after the fact. But that's what we can't get past. I want you to know that we're just not coming to you with Kenneth was found in the bathroom, stabbed 73 times with his throat being sliced, with the front door being locked, with their blood being on the lock assembly. Deputies got there because the armored truck people were there, and somebody else had drove past because they go in to get coffee. They noticed that the lights were off and that the business was closed and it was abnormal. So when deputies got there, the doors were locked. But on the lock, like the bolt, they see blood. Store employee, Fred Arnett is the business guy. He's the closing manager for the day before. You know what he does? He does something you didn't do. He worked there, and he said, holy shit, what happened at the place that I work? He said, guys, I work here. What's going on?
But I'm not saying I worked there.
Right, I understand.
Though.
But he said, guys, I don't know what's going on. And the deputy's like, neither do we, but the lights are off. Terry's car's here. He goes, here's my keys, man. Go do your thing. And they go in, and they find Terry in the bathroom. So it's not like you were just making a delivery because the doors were locked. Or you know what? Like Dave said on 9/11, you remember all those specific details. This is something you would have remembered. You know what? I was trying to make a delivery there, and the doors were locked, and there was blood, and they found the guy murdered. You would remember that. And you know
like when you asked me why didn't you go back to the store? I went back to the store, but I didn't know none of those employees.
Sure, of course. Like you said, it probably changed hands. But if you tried to make a delivery, the door was locked and there was blood, and they found this guy. Every time you saw something on the news, your mind would kind of visit that time where you were kind of involved, right? Same thing now. If you watch all these crime shows, and I'm sure it's in the back of your mind.
No,
man.
I never would do something like that. I like the idea that you can find people with their DNA. I think it's freaking awesome. Especially when people get away with stuff and from highness. I know, that's what it is. So,
but what I don't want to happen one day, man, is you had enough of this and you can't drag your family down anymore, and then you call me and you're like, man, now I just want to be honest. Sometimes it's better just to be honest, let it out, and then just face it like a man than it is to hide
if I had
behind.
any answers, I would tell you. You think I wouldn't, but I want to take especially Teal through this. I want to make anybody go through what I'm probably going to be going through.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You remember when you said you were 100% certain you were in Deltona when this murder happened?
I was living there.
You guys bought the house March 28, 1997.
That's just about a year later. Which means you were living on Cinder Lane.
Which, and you said you walked to the store.
I wasn't living in Cinder Lane. I know for a fact that. It's just because that was a monument.
But you didn't buy the house up in Deltona until 97.
Okay, well, I'm just.
Yeah, no, I got it. It's going back a long time, man. I'm not trying to be mean.
So, but you do remember walking up to that store?
Oh, no. Hey, no, honestly, the helicopter pilots, husband and wife, we were renting a house, option to buy it. Me and my wife came, and from that house, we were living in Deltona, but from that house, we went and bought our house, the one we bought in Deltona.
So you lived
We were renting that house at the time of this happened. That I know for sure because I had.
So you said two houses
I had to drive all the way to Turnpike 441. It was a long ride. I drove a Volkswagen Bug.
So you had two houses. You stayed in two different houses in Deltona. One you rented, one you bought.
I didn't even think about the other.
So you rented, and then
I rented one we had a lease option to buy, and it wasn't the floor plan we wanted, and it was made of wood. Neither one of us wanted a frame. We didn't want a frame house, yeah.
Understood. And you were renting from a helicopter pilot and his wife?
Yeah, my wife, she worked at ORMC. And,
It's like one of those.
well, I think she's seen something on there because she's seen something on there when they just rent the house.
Right.
That they were renting a house out there. So she brought it home and said, hey.
Who's this guy? You drive him home from work.
I ain't got my glasses on, but
Kind of a big guy.
it looks like Miguel.
Miguel?
Yeah.
He works for the Roback?
Yes, sir.
Who's the other guy you drive home with the long hair? Kind of a younger white guy.
His name's William. We nicknamed him Bird.
Bird? Miguel and Bird. Where do they live?
Couldn't tell you their address really.
Close by, though.
Yeah,
Bird is William, also.
William.
Sometimes when you drive them, are they both in your car together?
Yeah.
You drive them, and then you drop one off and then drop the other?
No.
Do they drink?
Yeah, I know Bird does. Miguel does.
What's Bird drink?
I think it's called Four.
Four Loko or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Does he drink Budweiser?
He will if I have one, he'll drink it.
It looked like when you and Miguel went in the store, Miguel bought Pepsi, right? Is that common?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Will he buy you a beer or two and kind of like thank you for a ride?
Yeah.
Is that common?
Yeah.
It
And
looks
Bird, he'll buy me a 4-pack sometimes.
Yeah, it looks like.
Always give him a beer. Yeah, always give him a beer.
Okay. Kenneth, man, I just can't stress how important this is, man, because next time we walk out of here, man, our life doesn't change. Our life goes on, like this. And the next time we talk, man, is in a courtroom, man. We all put suits on, and you put a suit on, and you say, man, I just didn't do it, but it's too late at that point to then be remorseful, and because everybody's.
I'm trying to recall everything I could think of. That morning, I know I didn't go to that store that morning because I never seen my mom that morning.
What morning?
How do you have such vivid recollections now?
No, I mean, I remember that store got robbed. That's the first thing I heard about it. That store got robbed.
So you remember going to see
And
your
the
mom?
only other thing I heard about it, the guy got shot. And there was nobody there I really knew. I tried to find out from the other stores.
So you mean to tell me you remember going to see your mom that morning?
Yeah. And the only reason I know that because my wife, because it must have been when I got off work or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on, man.
But I know
Come on.
that later that evening I came home and my wife, did you hear anything? When you talked to mom, did you hear anything?
Uh-huh.
No, all I know was it got robbed. Because she knew people that worked around there and everything, so she's the one telling me, hey, they got robbed, blah, blah, blah. And then through the streets, I heard somebody, oh, they got shot. Somebody got shot up there. And then now, this many years later, you're telling me I'm the one that did it? That's just...
So you remember going from Deltona to your mom's place that morning?
I didn't come...
How do you know it was that morning? Because they saw the crime scene tape up
It
later
was in the
that
news
night?
that night.
The news that night?
Later on that night, I seen the news. I just got from what I...
Remember what I talked about, flashbulb memories?
I know, but some of it's coming back because I'm like, I remember that store getting robbed because I worked there before.
So you remember things are starting to...
Some stuff's coming back.
Are
Just like when
things gonna come
you asked
back?
me about when I bought my house, okay, and then you pulled that 97 or whatever. Okay, I lived there before 97, but I was renting a house. So
that was a pretty significant event.
Oh, yeah.
And did you ever, and you never went back to the store to find out who was killed?
I went there. Like I said, there were different people there. I said,
While the crime scene tape was up, did you go back there?
Nobody there. I mean, it was closed.
Cops were there.
Wow. Yeah, but like I said, I didn't go there.
They say, hey, what happened here?
There was nobody there that I knew that. That's where I found out. It was probably at that store. Somebody said, "Oh, the guy got shot here." Blah blah blah. That's the one thing I never ever heard about it. I never knew it was freaking.
I bet you remember what you were wearing.
Stabbing.
I bet you remember exactly what you were wearing.
If I was working, if I was in uniform.
No, I bet you remember exactly what you were wearing that day. You remember seeing your mom on February 3rd, 1996.
Because I remember the news of that happened.
How many people get murdered in Orlando?
I didn't know that it was murdered until later on I found he got shot.
And then
you know how many people gets murdered?
Yeah,
daily.
But do you remember this one morning? Like, you remember this one morning that...
I don't remember that much of it. I just remember because you brought me back to where my timeline is, okay, I know I was living in Deltona.
Okay.
I know that because I was watching news with my ex in Deltona.
Your mom at that time was living on Cinder Lane with your stepdad.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever walk to the store from their apartment?
Yeah, I'm sure I'd had plenty of times.
Why wouldn't you drive?
Then I had a car.
Right.
But, so that's what I'm saying. It's like I'd walk with my mom up to maybe 7-Eleven.
Were you ever spend the night at your mom's house? If you were down
after
there,
the divorce.
But not around that time?
No, they only had one bedroom apartment.
So you wouldn't come to Orlando and drink too much and crash at your mom's place?
Yeah.
No.
Kevin, that's very odd to me that you remember that day. You remember specifics of that morning. You see how we got a little further. 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 And now we're there to the point where you remember seeing your mom that day. You remember that morning pretty vividly, 25 years ago, because it was something in your life that was significant. It's something in your life that you're never going to forget. And what we need to do, man, is
because I had just moved.
We need to leave
into my first house.
We need to leave it in this room, man. We need to get it out. We need to be honest and just say, man, it is what it is. The truth is out now. The truth is out now.
I told you everything. I've told you everything. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. You can just. I mean, I don't know.
I would say, can we get your DNA? But we got your DNA, so that's it's not like
they got my DNA.
Who can I talk to?
3 months ago. So
who can I talk to? What's Wanda gonna say? What do you think Wanda says?
He wouldn't. He couldn't hurt anybody. I know she won't.
She accused you of hurting her?
Oh, because she got what she wanted. She got what she wanted. She wanted control of the bank accounts. She wanted control of everything. She got that momentarily, but she got what she wanted. That's when she told my daughter to lie. And so,
Well, it seems like you tell us a little bit more. Maybe we can go for another 8 hours. Maybe you'll tell us a few more things.
I can tell you honestly.
Because you're not going to have
I
this
can
chance
tell you-
again, man.
I understand.
This day is not going to happen again. This conversation is not going to happen again.
My life is gone. My life is.
Well, I mean, your life is not gone. Terry's life is gone. Your life is not gone. It's apples to oranges. Like you've lived a wonderful 25 years relatively compared to what Terry may or may not have lived. His mom went to her grave, never knowing what happened. His friends, Terry has virtually no family, and he was just doing his thing, and by all accounts was a pretty nice guy. So you're going to have to come up, and this happens. I've been like Brian and I both been doing this job a long time, and I promise you, it's going to go something like you're going to eventually talk to somebody who's going to, man, this is exactly what you get to say. And then you're going to come up with some crazy story about how because anybody you talk to is going to tell you you're going to have to come up with some. You're going to come up with some crazy story, and you're going to have to explain it to 12 people when you're like, and they're going to be scratching their head like, well, why didn't you just tell the cops that in the first place? He's like, no, I mean, I've had a case once where the guy was like, oh, well, you're sitting in a room much like this. I didn't do it. I don't know. The same thing. And then we go to trial, and he's got this mystery third person that did it. And then, so it's trying to explain that to Jerry. Well, that was, I couldn't say anything because I was too scared for my safety and the safety of my family. And if I said something, that they would be in trouble. Their lives would be in jeopardy. And then it's like, my God, why didn't he just tell the detectives that in the first place? And they could have avoided all this trial. They could have avoided all this. There's going to be some story that you're going to have to come up with to convince 12 people.
And then you just look silly.
And it's like, and it's going to be like, I knew that if I really told the whole story, that my family would be in danger, and because the mob made me do it, or somebody was doing something that if I didn't do this, that I would I had a debt and I paid them, and then if I explained that I owed this debt to these people, and they would kill my family, and they know where my kids live, and they know it's going to be this fantastic story that you're going to have to come up with. And it's not going to work.
I know, but I didn't do it. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't kill nobody.
So we'll give you that out. Did somebody force you to do this? Did somebody force you to do this under the threat of violence to yourself or your family?
I didn't. I'm just saying, I didn't do it.
I
didn't do it. I would have went to the police. If somebody threatened me with something like this, I would have went to the police.
What he's trying to say is, eventually there's an offense for every case, and you have enough time, and you sit and you brainstorm and you think of some silly shit, right? Whereas sometimes it's just easier to just go back and live that day, and just tell us what you know, man. You don't even have to get into detail. I get it, man. We're talking about some demons here, man. You don't even have to go into detail, man. You don't even have to. You know what? You don't even have to tell us why, but because it's very personal. We don't have to get there, man. We don't even have to visit that. But we have to get past.
I know you know.
Was there somebody with you? Was there somebody that forced you to do this? Was somebody you like to do scratch offs and lottery? Was there a gambling? Did you have a gamble? Did you owe somebody money that your wife didn't know about?
Nothing that
nothing
would have. No, I never got that.
You never ran with nefarious people that would have.
Oh, there's all nefarious people in Lockhart and stuff like that, but I never gotten too far.
So how do we explain this, man? What do we do? I just go back and I say, you know what, Sarge? You know what, boss? Nothing. It's not him, man. We gotta find the real killer. That's a big thing, right? Search for the real killer. Like, what do we do, man? Stabbed 73 times, throat slit. Not him, man. Not him.
He was something to work with.
Yeah, something. Not him.
Nothing.
You were there that day, no doubt. It's like I said, go back to the Jerry Springer thing. Oh, you know what? It's your paternity test. You're 99.99% it's your child. Well, the crowd goes
95%. I didn't go in that store. I just remember because of Newcastle, and you bring it back when I was living in Deltona. I know I was living in Deltona because, like I said, I remember the Newcastle. I mean, I know that area. So my wife said, "Hey, that's the store in Rosemont. That's right down the street from us where we used to live." So yeah, it jogged some memory. I didn't know what the cycle of when I left the Universal, if I went to Clark Food Service first or Papa John's first. But now I know it had to be Clark Food Service because I started driving again with Clark Food Service. From Clark Food Service, I went to Grantham. So from Grantham, then I got my job at Papa John's, Worldwide Dedicated Services. So I'm just trying to remember the timelines.
You would not,
So
when you were
jogging a little bit of memory out of me, but that I know I didn't do.
when you were at Papa John's, there was no way you would have delivered to Little Champs when you were at Papa
No.
John's. So
No.
it had to be when you were at Clark's or.
It had to be when I worked at Grantham. So after Grantham, because they weren't paying me what I deserved, I think I left there and started working at Papa John's.
So
Worldwide Dedicated. I started with Worldwide Dedicated, which is part of what Papa John's was, but I got odd jobs with them
So
until I got,
So Worldwide would have not delivered to convenience stores.
I don't know.
You didn't deliver to convenience stores. You only delivered to convenience stores when you were with. Was that Clark?
Grantham.
Grantham. And that was the second job after Universal.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay. That would put it in around that time. Was it kind of weird going back to the stores delivering where you used to work? Did it kind of like bring back little memories? Like, oh yeah, that's me.
Yeah, but
I remember a young kid working here.
I didn't know nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like me being a old timer now. I'm 32 years old. When I drive by places, like, oh man, I remember stopping a car here in the 80s or 90s, or I used to remember taking a call over here. Remember when somebody got stabbed over here. I mean, if you go back into that store now, like Brian and I've gone back in that store, it's a little like a time capsule.
Yeah.
It looks exactly the same. They haven't updated very much since 1996.
No, just like the convenience store on Roselle. It's same thing.
So it's not
one, but
it's not a. You didn't kill him to protect your family from any nefarious characters that forced you to commit this murder. Did somebody?
No, it sounds ridiculous. I don't know how I got it.
Knowing that in 25 years that we would be able to. Because blood at the time really had no value unless you had a person to put it with. And, you had been gone from that store for so long that you weren't on the record books anymore. Your name never came up on that. Now, had they gone back 5 years, your name would have been there. But they didn't go back 5 years. They only went back as the employees that were there at the time and back to 1995. So that's why your name never showed up. Had it showed up, maybe they would have got your DNA years ago. But they didn't do that. So they had no way of tying you to the store. We didn't know you had any connection to the store until this morning when we came in. And now we know not only did you work at the store, you actually delivered to the store. So now we can say, oh, well, there is a connection. And you lived in your stepmom or your mom and stepdad lived in the apartment complex right across from where the victim lived. Mm-hmm. So maybe you knew Terry from.
Did he live there? Mm-hmm. I didn't know where he lived. I didn't.
So
never talked.
So all these
except chit chat in the store. Hey.
But you keep saying him, chit chat in the store. You're very comfortable saying that. It's like you know.
It's like, hey, did you win? I said, yeah, $20. I got this.
You know it's Terry. You know it's this guy.
You go home and watch the news that night with your wife to see what's
Terry gets killed. So you keep saying, man, I don't know him. I just know him through chit chatting at the store. So you do know him. It's not the fact that he looks familiar. You know the
timeline.
You knew the guy.
With the timeline that you got to put in, when he first showed me, he looked a little familiar. Okay, but I didn't know he's freaking killed like that. I didn't know. So I mean, no, I didn't know his name back then. Never got that close to him. Never talked to him that much. It was just like buying a 6-pack of beer, scratch my tickets, played my lottery numbers. See them all.
And he was typically an opener. Like he opened. Like, look at the schedule. He always opened. So you would be in that store early for whatever reason.
Usually it would be weekends.
Weekends.
That's the only time I would usually see them.
Because you'd be down there and visit your mom or whatever.
No, I mean,
Did you work?
if I'd seen him prior to that, it was because I did live there. I mean,
Right.
hell, 3 blocks.
Right. Right.
So I mean, I'm sure I've seen him.
Do you remember his little white Honda that he had, or a Civic, or a little white car that he had? And then, so when you turned off of, you're going down the trail and you turned down as a cinder lane, I think, where all the apartments were.
Yeah.
There was apartments on the right hand side if you're coming off the trail.
Yeah, you got.
And those are the apartments you used to live in, and the apartments on the left also.
No, the ones on the right they were like more condominiums.
Mm-hmm.
The second set they were called the Glen at Monterey, and the other ones across the street where Mom lived was called the Monterey.
So if you're coming down, in terms of the right hand side is where the one set on the left hand side is where. Okay.
Did your mom own that place? 'Cause it seemed like all the brothers lived there at one point.
Like
The place in the Monterey, the one on the left. Your
my
mom lived there.
mom, we rented after my dad, but we moved a couple of places, but we grew up mainly on Rose Avenue, down the street from the other little champ on Rose Avenue. That's where we grew up. We moved out of there. My brother went to Marines. I had my kid, but I think when I had my kid, before I got married, me, my stepdad, and my mom moved to the Glen at Monterey. So we had 2 bedrooms. So they had a bedroom, I had a bedroom on top. And then when me and my wife got married, we had a trailer in Apopka. That's when we first got married. That's where we started out. And then from...
But you and Wanda, but you guys only been divorced like 5 years? If I do the math, you said 16? So
I think... No, it was longer than that. You probably looked up, when I got my DUI, about the same time as my divorce. So, I say 2016, but you looked up, you find out when I got my DUI.
You guys were high school sweethearts?
Yes, sir.
What high school did you go to?
Apopka High School. So we're actually junior high school. That's when we started, I fell in love with her.
Right.
But I didn't start dating until Apopka.
Imagine she's gonna be dumbfounded when she hears that.
My brother, Tio, everybody's gonna be freaking, what?
Yeah. You think there's anybody that won't be surprised?
No.
Because.
Oh, I mean, everybody's gonna be surprised. I mean, I just can't think of somebody that everybody knows me.
So we're down to.
Everybody knows me enough to.
We're down to the theory that somebody, without your knowledge.
I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't.
That's really, we've gone over. I've given you every out that we. Brian's given you every out.
I know blood can get transferred and stuff like that.
How? Tell me that. Tell me.
I don't know.
Well, you just said you know how to.
I don't know. I've seen it say, okay, if you cut yourself over here and you walk out there and you touch something, or somebody else touched your blood and then went, did something.
What are the odds that somebody had to touch?
Hey, what's the odds I'm sitting right here right now? I mean,
I think it was 1 in 700 billion.
Yeah,
1 in 700.
That's
The
I watched forensic files. I watched. My favorite one is See No Evil, because they get them on video and they go back and they catch the people.
Well, it would sure have been nice if somebody would have pulled that trap camera and activated it. That would have exonerated you, probably. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Something, I don't know. But for me to be sitting here with this,
Well,
I didn't do it.
It's because it's not like.
All right. Explain. I don't know. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. Just.
It's got to be a burden, man.
It's a burden. basically going to jail.
It's more
for
stressful.
Something I know I didn't do.
It's more stressful covering it up than it is just being honest with us.
If I had something
It's very
I could tell
stressful
you
trying to cover it up.
otherwise, I'd tell you.
You know why? Because
nothing else can
when
tell
you get to the point to where you want to tell us what really happens, it's just going to flow.
Like I see,
It's gonna flow, and then-
I see you've been getting teared up a little bit in here.
Dude, I just lost my life. I literally just lost my life because of what you would tell me that you think I did.
You lived 25 years
And
with this.
I
You've
couldn't
done
live
for-
with it.
I think.
though. That's what you're not understanding. I'm too sensitive. I couldn't live with something. I missed work.
How
I
many times
got
I've
rid
read that
of
freaking
because
story?
my dog died, and I kept missing work because I couldn't stop drinking enough to freaking. My dog's dead.
Dogs are-
freaking dog's dead.
Yeah.
And my
But
boss got pissed and wrote me up.
this isn't a family member, man. This isn't like you went and you.
That's a
this is
human
a brother.
life, though.
It's a human life, but it was insignificant to you at the time.
It's.
I'm not saying it's not significant to you now, but at
it's a
February
human-
3rd in
it's a
96,
human being. I
this
couldn't
human
kill
life
nobody.
was insignificant to you.
I know. But
So you
it's
know,
human life.
I can go as a homicide detective. I told you my father just passed away last month, and I cried about it this morning. I can go this afternoon and all next week and look at dead bodies. I can go to the morgue. It doesn't bother me. But when it happens to this Terry was no relation to you. He's nothing. He's nothing.
It was a
But
human life
when
that
it's
couldn't
your
take another human life.
Yeah.
Like if you put the
Yeah.
scenarios out like you did.
But I just said
Yeah.
that. Did you hear what I just said? I said, but he was insignificant to you at the time. And you know what you said? I know. Because subconsciously, it's crazy.
No,
Because
but it's a human
subconsciously-
life, though. I
It
mean,
is, it is. But just like when we referenced Terry, you're like, yeah, I knew him in passing. I knew. But you said in the beginning you didn't know him. But now, as we
well,
get
look
a
at
little
the
more
timeline. I
comfortable,
probably did.
I know that's
but
not
I never
that.
had
We get a little more
I
comfortable.
never had no connection with. I didn't have no connection with it. It's like I'm sure, just like when I go to 7-Elevens or whatever store I go to. The
But
only
as
reason I
we get a little-
frequently go to that Citgo because that's where I go to, and my dip's cheaper, my beer's cheaper.
I get that,
They let
but
me
as-
run. They let me run a charge account.
But as we started this interview and I showed you the driver's license of Terry, it started out as, oh, he looks familiar, but I don't. And then as we went further and we learned a little bit more now, then it changed to, oh, well, I just knew him in passing, scratching off, hey, good luck, do you win anything? And then, because now you're kind of accepting of some things. And same thing with here, just like I told you, his
I'm
life
sure
was
if
insignificant.
I'm a nice guy, I probably said, hey, how you doing? What's going on? How's it going? You know.
But it's
You
more than
probably-
that. You're comfortable talking to him because just like when you explain some of your answers, you're like, oh, I just knew him in passing. I just knew him by going in there and
I
getting a
didn't
dip.
know how long I was going in there before it happened. I didn't know how long I'd known him. I didn't know his name. I didn't know what car he drove. I didn't know he was the manager. I just seen him. He was just a cashier to me.
Yeah. Kenneth, I don't know if there's much more we can say, man. I wish you'd come to terms with this and we can kind of leave this here and you can
I wish I could tell you
shed this
something.
off of your
I wish I
your
could tell you
consciousness.
something else.
But I
can't
don't
do it.
know.
I didn't do
Can you
it.
think of any other? I mean, outside start talking about aliens and UFOs and
I'm trying to think
get
of
back
any
to
different scenario.
the blackout.
I'm trying to go back. I'm just trying to go back to every. I'm looking at the timelines. I mean, it took me a minute to figure out what house I bought first. Where I was living. It was taking me to where I was working. I don't have.
Would there be any way that somebody could obtain your blood without you knowing it?
No, not that.
Let me see your hand. Your left hand. 'Cause I would think your left hand would be the one you got cut. So
I got cut there. I got cut there.
where'd you get your cut on this hand?
Right here. I think it was that one. One was I cut the nerve right there.
How'd you do that?
That was a bleeder.
Yeah, my dad. I was working at Worldwide, and I grabbed a metal bandy. Didn't have gloves on. Hold it. The weight dropped, and it just sat in my hands, and I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, you had to have surgery for that. You're saying, huh?
Yeah.
Did Terry ever cross the line with you when you were in the store? Come on to you,
That's what I'm
grab
saying.
you, try to kiss you?
So I didn't know his name. I just.
Did you do something?
I could have walked away from anybody coming, trying to do
Right,
something
but
like with me.
but it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I never,
Maybe
I
you
never,
seem
I
kind
never
of.
seen anybody in that store because if I was passing by or wherever I was going, I know it was Circle K and 7-Eleven would be open.
But you seem like a
wanna go to
friendly
that
dude.
store.
You seem like somebody that's social, that people may not be friends with you, but when they first meet you, they kind of shoot the shit with, because you seem like a personable guy. I don't know you outside of this setting, but that's what it appears to me. So what I'm saying is, if Terry took that the wrong way, and he knew you from coming in, making deliveries, and you're shooting the shit with him, and he came on to you, that's important.
Yeah, I just
That's
don't know
important.
if I made the
But did that happen?
No.
But did that happen?
No.
And there's nothing to be embarrassed about or ashamed of.
I wouldn't be embarrassed about it. I mean, I can't help somebody, if they're gay, then they're gay.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you took him up on something and went too far, you're like, wow.
I can't.
married.
There's no way in the world I could ever be gay. There's nothing. There's no gayness in me. I'm just a heterosexual.
It's almost
Yeah.
everybody, well, that's probably everybody we speak to that we show the crime scene photos, like, oh man, this is deeply personal. This
Yeah.
is somebody who really, and that's kind of the classic, what we call like an overkill.
I've seen it.
Where it'd be like,
Yeah.
you don't need to stab somebody 73 times.
That's why I know damn well. There's no way I could do that.
But you're a different
I
person
didn't-
now, man. You changed through the course of your life. You've matured, you've changed,
And I never hurt
and you've
nobody.
made mistakes back then, man.
I've
And that's
never-
just a fact of
And
the
I would
matter.
never hurt nobody. I would never hurt nobody. You've
never hurt anybody
You
in
had
your
a
life?
gun, blah blah.
You've never hurt anybody in your life.
No.
You got into a drunk and disorderly, and right, you got
Hey,
into a
that
fight.
was
Different.
no. It was a guy and a girl. The girls actually started it
Mhm.
because me and him bumped shoulders. I wasn't drinking. I had one beer that night. We bumped shoulders, and then she started on it. So I had two of them
So
fighting
you got into
with
a
me.
sober fight at
So
a
the
bar.
next thing I know, the loud music, the Orange County officer said, I identified myself after he maced me and everything else, but he grabbed a hold of me like this. Well, I got two people fighting with me. I'm like, well, I'm just dropping the guy off so he can get his keys with his wife and go get his car. So and then they started fighting. Next thing I know, I get my arms wrapped
You-
up.
you
So
see
I
what-
thought I
you
had
see-
another person.
What you're doing now is you got yourself into a jam. Now there's always an explanation to it. Same thing. What's going to happen a year from now? You're going to come up with something and say, killed the guy. Why? There's always a silly defense to every case.
Yeah,
Right, just like
I
now,
know.
you got arrested for drunk and disorderly. You're the only sober guy I have ever known to get arrested for drunk and disorderly at a bar at Pleasure Island. And you just told me you were sober. That's crazy. Just like in 6 to 8 months from now, or however long it takes to go through the court system, gonna have some crazy explanation how.
That's what I keep trying to put my head around because,
Yeah,
I'm never going to have no
crazy.
crazy explanation because I can't. I wasn't there.
You know
I
what,
didn't
you know what
do
the
it.
crazy explanation is? The truth. What happened in that minute that you and Terry were in the store and went south? That's what's crazy. There is no other explanation but the truth.
Unless I worked there, I was
You
never in a store before it opened. I didn't have access to the store. I didn't know it.
But
I
you
didn't-
know,
I didn't know nobody in that store at a personal level.
But just like you said, you knew him from going in, playing scratch offs, getting coffee, buying
But
a
I
beer.
wouldn't go
Hey,
in there.
man, I gotta go.
I
No
know,
problem.
but
He knew
I wouldn't
you.
go in there. I wouldn't go in there because I know they were closed. I knew
When
I
I was
never
on, you
went
see
in
the
there
guy-
before 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't do that because I know they were closed. I'd go to 7-Eleven or
The
something.
register where Terry would be
Mhm.
is 5-6 feet from the door. If he saw you try to open it and it was locked, he was like, "Oh, let me in." You're gonna say, "No, I can't get my coffee and my scratch off because you are closed, sir." No, you're gonna go in. You're gonna get your shit.
I want to go there though. There's no reason
It
for
was
me to
five.
go
It
there.
was a few minutes before opening time. I believe they opened at 6. and it
Okay,
was
wherever
like
I was,
5:55.
if
That's what I'm trying to say.
I know,
This
but
doesn't
you
make
try to put me
sense.
there, but
No, I know.
I know for
I
a
wouldn't
fact.
be here.
Okay, I would have been to Circle K. I would have went to
Yeah, I
somewhere.
wouldn't be here if I didn't know you were
Okay.
there. I knew. But what I'm trying to say is, that's what I'm trying to say. When you go back to that drunk and disorderly from 2004 at Pleasure Island, you're the only sober guy that's ever got a drunk and disorderly. Because looking back on it, now you're justifying what happened. Same thing. Come 3 years from now, we're gonna have a different
Nothing to
talk.
justify that.
So I've noticed, you seem like you have a really hard time taking accountability for your actions.
Well,
You don't take accountability for a DUI. It was a dog that got loose.
Hey,
There was other people that started the drunken
I got the
disorderly.
DUI.
It was Wanda that was fault for the making up lies about your divorce. you don't want to accept responsibility for this. Is there anything that you're going to take responsibility for?
Not no murder.
You take responsibility for drunk disorderly arrest at Pleasure Island? Yeah, somebody else's fault.
I got in a fight. The officer said, "Hey, I identified myself."
Right.
But you kind of hear nothing over the music there. I didn't know it was an officer grabbing me.
And Wanda made up lies on you.
Yeah.
So that's not your fault either.
She's bulimic. So
your DUI wasn't your fault because it was the dog that was.
I'm sure. I had a few drinks. So like I said,
If that dog hadn't got out, you'd be fine. You wouldn't have got that DUI, right?
Problem.
Right. Like there's nothing that we've talked about of any significance in this room that you've been willing to accept responsibility for. So this is no different. This is just a much larger scale, but everything is somebody else's fault in your life. Have you thought about taking responsibility for anything?
My DUI was life shattering.
Right, but if it wasn't for that dog, you wouldn't have got it, right?
But I failed a sobriety test. So I went through my punishment for that. Long time, so.
Because they had you dead to rights, huh? Or not? Were you that drunk, really?
No, I'm more probably tired. I just got back.
There you see. There you go.
Well, I was more tired than drunk.
Here's the thing.
You don't want to take responsibility for that either. I don't think you have to take responsibility for anything.
I got DUI. I should have been behind the wheel, but I already paid my cost for that.
Do you know if you tell us really what happened, and you say, you know what, man? Yep, I did it. I stabbed him. I was pissed off. Whatever the reason may be. You know, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes today. I showed you. You have a warrant. You got a warrant. A judge reviewed the affidavit, and he said, "Yeah, I agree." He signed it. You tell me what happened. Met with the state attorney's office. You know what they said? Yep, good to go. Everything looks good. If you tell us really what happened today, nothing changes. It's a personal thing within you, in your head.
Out.
No, not to get out. It's a personal thing in your head. If you tell us what happened, we walk out there, nothing changes. You don't tell us what happened, nothing changes. But it's
prison, jail.
No, it's in your head.
It's
you feel better. You shed it. You get it. You get the monkey off your back. The truth sets you free, bro. Nothing changes today, whether you tell us or you don't tell us. So it's not like we just got you down here on a hunch. We met you and we said, Kenneth, we need to go talk to you. We really have no evidence on you, but we're gonna ruse you. We're gonna try to lie to you to get. We don't need any of that. Nothing changes today if you tell us or don't tell us.
Tell me.
Yeah, nothing changes.
I'm under arrest.
But that's the thing. You can't. But you cannot drag your family down this black hole of.
That's the last thing I would want.
I know. So what's stopping you from telling us what happened? You remember seeing your mom February 3rd of '96. You remember exactly what you did that morning. And I promise you know exactly what you were wearing because it's a significant part of your life.
Only because the only time you tell me the dates, I'm just telling you when I remember going home from work, going to my Deltona home, and my mom already knew something had happened over there because she walks to work at that time. I seen her later on when she was already at work, and she told me, "Yeah, they got robbed, blah blah blah." And I went home. Later on that afternoon, I went home, and my ex came home later.
She didn't call you the next 2 weeks and say, "Man, they still got that little champ. That's a crazy robbery."
It was either her or somebody at the store. One of the little champs I went to, told me that the guy got shot.
Nothing changes today.
Okay.
Nothing changes. But that's what I'm trying to say. You need to find a place to where you can be honest with us. You need to get to a place, and you really need to do some soul searching, man, and just say, I've been living with this for so long.
I haven't been living with it, though. This is the first I've heard of how bad gruesome it was.
When I first showed you those pictures, Kenneth, you were shaking. You were crazy. You didn't want to look at them.
If you're telling me I did it, yeah, I guess any man alive would see those pictures and shake. I didn't do it. I don't. I can't explain it.
You're just not going to accept responsibility for this or really anything. It's always somebody else's fault.
I got a DUI. I got arrested for domestic violence, but she knows. I told her, your mom. She told me I was holding her captive in the house. That wasn't the case.
Then, so that the morning, how close were you to the store in the morning? Then, I mean, were you But you were at your mom's house that morning?
You guys keep saying it's February 3rd. I'm just saying,
Your
I
mom
used to
told
go
you.
there all the time. It depends on what job I had. I think it was worldwide dedicated service. Because of the timeline, I know the only reason I moved into the possible house, we didn't ever bought that house, but we were renting from one place and into the second house.
I'm not talking about all that stuff. I'm talking about the morning of the murder, which we tell you is February 3rd, 1996. You heard from your mother that morning that there had been a robbery at the store, or something had happened at the store.
Yeah.
And did she tell you when you came to the house?
Because I've seen her at the store.
At her store?
At Publix.
That's where she was working.
She was working at Publix. She was produce lady.
So you're willing to admit a little bit that you were in Lockhart the morning of the murder because you read your mom.
I think so, because that later on that day I seen the news.
So you were there. You were in Lockhart talking to your mom that day, and she told you about it. So that's as much as we're gonna get from you.
I know I didn't kill nobody.
So the only thing you're gonna give us, the little shred, is like, yeah, I was in Lockhart the day of the murder.
You know what's so funny too is when I first showed you these pictures, you didn't say that. So it's not like, man, I remember that murder. I was actually seeing my mom that day, and I'll never forget it.
Well,
it was on the news.
You guys keep going back to the timeline.
No, because you know what happens? Psychologically, what happens is when you tell a lie, you always you got to tell 5 more to cover up the first one you told. So as time goes on, as the past couple hours, however long we've been talking, you're trying to cover it up, X, Y, Z. But when I showed you the picture, and I believe the very first picture I showed you was the picture of no, not of him. In fact, it was when you made reference to the little champ, and I showed you this double picture, and I'll find it here. I guess
of the outside.
Of the outside, and I showed you, and I folded it just like this because I really didn't want you to see the crime scene, man. And I showed you this picture. I asked you, "Was this the little champ?" And you said, "Yeah." And then I showed you Terry, but you never stopped me and said, "You know what, man? I know what you're talking about, detective. I lived there." And I saw my mom that day.
I lived there.
No, but you didn't put all the pieces together. You know why?
I didn't know.
No.
His name was
You
Terry.
were trying to find out what we knew, and that's what I would do.
You have
That's what I would
everything.
do too. But now, looking back on it, now in a span of a couple hours, we're able to make you remember.
Yeah.
One specific day.
Timelines and everything else.
No. We're able to make you remember one specific day in '96. Crazy, because you know what? You could force me to remember specific incidents of me in '96. Because my dad had just retired in the military and we had just moved down here and I started school down here, right? But be damned if you're able to convince me of a specific day in '96. You can't do it. You can't do it.
I remember,
you can.
I remember the store getting robbed.
Specific.
I remember the store getting robbed. And I
Then
remember,
why don't you tell me this? You're speaking to 2 detectives with an old photograph of Little Champ, and you don't say that.
What? Did I know it was robbed?
And then I show you a picture of the store clerk, and you never once stop me and tell me that, I remember that day.
I said he was familiar. I don't remember the
you
day.
don't
When I
remember.
go back to the timeline, I remember I worked with Worldwide Dedicated.
No, because
that's
you're
where I got
trying to do.
hurt
You're
at.
trying to give us as much information as you can without telling us what you did.
I don't need to tell you nothing. Apparently, you got what you need to do whatever you're going to do with me.
That's you're not wrong there. I don't need you to say anything.
I
don't because I
But I didn't do it. And I mean, you can go.
I know we're getting kind of loud. I don't mean to yell at you. I don't mean any disrespect. It's just I want you to get to a place.
Frustrated.
Me too. Because I want you to get to a place where you can just leave this here, man. When we walk out this door, I want you to be able to fucking leave this here. Just leave it. You've been living it with it this long, and let's just be done with it. Because it's a. You know what?
There's nothing for me to leave though. I wouldn't. I didn't do it. I did not kill nobody. I didn't kill nobody for any reason at all. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
I know you want to convince yourself of that, and I think that's what you've done all these years to kind of just put it back somewhere where you can forget it. Is you convince yourself you didn't do it. You've said it over and over that in your mind it didn't happen because that is a burden to live with. If you lived with as sensitive as you told me you are, to live with all these years. So you tell yourself that didn't happen. You
And I know
tell
I couldn't
yourself.
live with something.
I'm
like this.
sure.
I know I couldn't.
I'm
live
sure
with
you
something.
had crazy dreams about it, man. I'm sure it's something that you revisit every so often, but you keep telling yourself, I didn't do it, it did not happen. But unfortunately, in the world we live with today with technology, it did happen. It is a true event. It happened. And only you can tell us why, man.
I can't tell you. I just nothing. Is there any chance I could talk to Emily?
We'll work through that, man. We'll work through that, you know. But we need to get the truth out on this. Man.
Well, I just don't want somebody at work.
I know.
Or
Yeah.
be bewildered. And,
What do you? What's look? Quid pro quo. Well, we'll let you talk to her. It's not going to change anything. Are you going to talk to her?
I just want to let her know where I'm at.
We'll let her
What's
know.
going on? Well, I'm sure you'll let her know, but I want to let her know that it is. I mean,
Listen, man. I don't know how much we can go round and round. I would.
I know.
I know. If
I can't. There's nothing I can tell you differently to make you okay. Like
A
you
reason-
said, you have to go back and you have to say, "Hey, he said he didn't do it." That's all I can tell you is I didn't do it.
A reasonable explanation would be good. But you can't even find one of those.
I didn't do it. I can't pull it out of the air and say, "Hey, I that's something I did," and I'll tell you what happened. There's nothing I can tell you. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I can't change it. I can't explain I mean.
All right, well, we'll regroup our things, man. Let me ask you this. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear, affirm, or promise everything you told us in this interview today was true and correct?
Yes, sir.
So help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, man, we're going to gather our stuff. Just give us a minute, all right? Well, you need some more water or something? I'm sure you might have to use the bathroom in the next 20 minutes. Just hang out here for us. We will,
All right, the time is 14:30 hours. This concludes the interview with Kenneth Stowe.
So I
Sal.
can't make a phone call.
Not right now. So this concludes the interview. This is Corporal David Nutting and Detective Brian Strelly. Yeah, just give us a little bit and see what. I mean, you will be able to at some point, but not just right now.
Hey, Teal. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm being arrested.
For what?
They were saying back in, I don't know, 96, somewhere around there, I committed a murder. I killed somebody at the convenience store that got robbed.
You're lying to me.
They arrested me when I went to Wells Fargo today, and they arrested me. They told me it was for a card charge. I'm at the Volusia County, or not Volusia County, I'm at the police station in Lake County. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. They got an arrest warrant. And the officer just let me use his phone. Been talking to them for a couple hours.
Is that the one where they come down here looking?
No. They're saying this happened over in Lockhart 20-some years ago.
You killed somebody?
That's what they're saying, yeah. It's like, I don't know what to do. I guess they're, I don't know what they're doing now. I mean, I guess they're gonna arrest me and, but you know, I didn't do it. But I worked there, I delivered there.
Like when you deliver pizza? Or for the truck?
I used to work at Little Jam. I used to freaking deliver there with Grantham back then. I was trying to, and we've been going through this for 2-3 hours now. I feel like I'm in forensic files. They said they got enough witness. They have, well, they're not witness, but they have. They're arresting me for murder.
Is the first hearing about they had a murder there?
No, I knew that. That happened back when Mom worked at Publix. Because I lived down the street. Well, I when it happened, I wasn't living there anymore. I was living in Volusia County, but I used to see my mom all the time. So they're saying I probably was there at the time of the murder, and the guy let me in, and it happened before it opened, and
Where's your car at?
it's at Wells Fargo.
Okay, not one.
Yep, Mountain.
Oh, they do a bond, let me know.
They're not gonna do a bond, baby. I think the judge, the district attorneys, or whatever, everybody said that I did it.
They have to prove it though. Being that-
I know it's gonna be a long thing. They're gonna make me go through trial, everything, but keep telling them, that's like, I can't admit to something I know it damn well I didn't do. So, I'm just trying to, the cash, he's stabbed to death. I mean, like 70 times. I told him I couldn't, I don't.
Okay, when I can come down there and see.
I'm probably not gonna be here. They're probably gonna transfer me to Orange County.
Well, I don't care where you're at.
Okay, as soon as I get another phone call, I'll call you, but I guess you're gonna have to see about getting me an attorney or something. Alright. Alright, I gotta go, I'll call you whenever I get a chance.
All right.
Alright, love you.
Also bring your car to me.
Okay, then. Alright, bye-bye.
Chauffeur for the next few minutes.
I'm sorry.
Kenneth,
Oh, okay.
we got your wallet here
Yes, sir.
and the car keys. You want that going back to Teal?
Yeah, back to the house.
I'm gonna let this go with you. It's your glasses, whatever cash you had on here.
Can you give that all to her?
Let her have the cash, it's easier for me, I don't have to
Is
put
it?
it in that thing in the jail.
Alright.
I don't need nothing in there.
Alright. So you want it all to go to Teal?
You give that up, is there any way?
I want to, let me just tap all this money out with you, so
It's in his ID too.
I'll get that for you. So come over here and sit next to me. How much money do you have on you?
I'm guessing like $94.
Count that out. Share back.
80.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, be on camera.
How much?
I was guessing at 94, because I just took this out of the account.
Yep.
You give this to her, Jimmy.
But I want you to tell me how much is there.
Oh. 96.
96 bucks. 90, 20.
So am I getting transferred to Orange County?
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
I'm taking
Is there any chance I can go back them further?
Yeah, we can swear.
Yeah,
You
I walked him out there before.
got your debit card? You want your reading glasses?
Yeah,
Must
he
be.
does. That's his pen.
And then, what do we got here? Your wallet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to write down her number?
Oh, yeah, I better.
Social security card. I took stuff out of your wallet. And then these are the keys to the car. She'll know where that's at, the
Yeah.
Wells Fargo. Okay. You want to take the bathroom? And then I'll write down Teal's number. And then we'll put it in your pocket, alright?
Yeah, you can come with me.
Kenneth Stowe Jr. is arrested and charged with first-degree murder and robbery with a deadly weapon. Prosecutors argued the killing was connected to the robbery, though no definitive motive is ever established. A judge sets a $300,000 bond with strict conditions, including GPS monitoring. In 2023, after a 5-day trial, a jury finds Stowe guilty of first-degree murder with a weapon. He is sentenced to life in prison.